Good evening, everyone. Yes. When we had sent out the invite of this event, how many noticed this picture? How many of you all know what it is? Yes, the common men, R.K. Lakshman. Do you all remember all his cartoons? Yes. Now, if this is depicted in today's world, what do you think these common men must be thinking today? Overlooking all the skyline of Dubai. Do you all know the answer? He wakes up early morning before the sun, rushes through the traffic, attends meetings after meetings, answers emails before and between every meal, builds business, signs deals, grows investments, and by the time he gets home, there's only one investment he has forgotten to make. That is in himself. Am I right? Yes. He tells himself, I will start exercising next month. And a new year agenda is set on 31st December. From tomorrow, I will start my weight loss journey. The health checkup in the next visit. I will spend time with the family after I've built my wealth. But in this journey, there is always one project after another, one assignment after another. The irony is, we spend our lives building wealth to secure our future, while quietly compromising the very health that allows us to enjoy the future. Perhaps that's what exactly a common man is thinking today. I have invested in my company, my clients, my home, my future, but I have invested not enough in myself. And that's why today's event is very, very relevant. Health and wealth. What is that line we need to draw while creating your wealth and not ignoring your health? So with that note, I would like to invite all of you to this evening. Enjoy your evening today and a very, very good evening. Two important updates. WAFA will be held soon. We have opened the registration, send the link. We have a QR code scanner outside as well. So please join us at Visakhapatnam. And the first 10 registrations as a chapter will be reimbursed to you. If you have already registered, please drop an email to the treasurer so that we can take a note of it. There are 2 raffles today, one by Young Global and one from NAM Valuers. So please stay in the room till the end to be lucky. One is Whoop and one is a 2-gram gold coin. So try your luck and put your visiting cards at their booth. Before we continue this evening, it's now time to rise, not just in form but in spirit, from the land that gave us our roots, our culture, our identity as proud Indians, and also the nation that welcomed us with all the arms and made our dreams come true, Dubai. So please rise for the national anthem and ICI motto, UAE and India.
मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पञ्जाब सिन्ध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गङ्गा विन्ध्य हिमाचल यमुना गङ्गा उच्चल जलधि तरङ्गा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रदब्रह्मा तदब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चनान्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you. Please be seated. It's now time for that moment that truly defines the vision of the year. They say true leadership does not speak the loudest, but sometimes it is felt in the calmness, humility, and the quiet strength of the purpose. I now invite our chairman for his vision to take us forward. Please keep cheering as we welcome our chairman, C.A. Rishi Chawla.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. वीकेंड है, सैटरडे है. आई थिंक इतना भी रिलैक्स वाला नहीं होना चाहिए. थोड़ा जोश दिखाओ. गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. Yes, I think that the cups are already in front of you. The coffee is already there. So woken up. We have got a good mix of today, health and wealth. Because if there is no health, there is no use of wealth, right? If there is very good health and there is no wealth, then again there is a problem, correct? So as a committee, we thought about, creating a bit technical at the same time, a bit of a fun. So you get to learn a little bit new techniques, plus from the financial side, also from the health side. So that is the idea which we are trying to develop, because trying to make all the things very technical sometimes, get you a little bit into sleep. So we want to wake you up always. That's why we are creating new idea. That's how the energetic young committee we have. Give them a big round of applause. To all the committee member, secretary madam जो अपने notes पढ़ रही हैं, इनके लिए भी ताली बजाइए. She is putting lot of efforts for all of us. Thank you. Honorable guest of honor, Mr. Osama Al Rahma, chairman of the Foreign Exchange and Remittance Group, FERG, head of business development and wealth management at Emirates Investment Bank, a person with a great career behind him. There's a long list of accolades behind his achievements. We'll have a proper introduction for him. Thank you for joining today and for covering this important topic, UAE as an investment hub. Thank you so much, Mr. Osama, for joining. Give him a big round of applause, everyone. Our speakers of the day, Mr. Amit Bhartiya, who has flown all the way from Singapore to join us on this session today, founder and portfolio manager of DeLorean Partners. Thank you for agreeing to share your knowledge with us on the topic, understanding global investment cycles to spot the right opportunities. So what is different about this topic is not a generic topic of where to invest, it's more about challenging your thought process. So how do you actually as an individual look at identifying how you should go about investing at a personal. So he is going to share with his journey of his learning and how he's doing this thing. So I'm really looking forward to his session. Please give him a big round of applause to Amit coming all the way from Singapore. Thank you, Amit Bhai. CA Piyush Junjunwala, who is also one of our member, founder and CEO of Spotify. Thank you for joining. He'll be joining us very shortly. He's on the way. I spoke to him just a while back. And we have also Dr. Anu Agarwal, the Bollywood actress and fame of 1990s Ashki movie. She has turned into a yoga teacher. She's already in the hotel, so she'll join later with us. She will share with us her journey and some of yoga lessons for maintaining better health. And most important, our distinguished members, you are the power behind the chapter. Please give a big round of applause for all the members. Your presence is what matters in the end. Our valued sponsors who are with us, respected former chairman, my colleagues in the executive committee, good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you. Let me tell you again saying why we planned to take these sessions. As CAs, we spend our life helping individuals and businesses how they should make wealth, create value. But the question is, how much do we really create wealth for ourselves? A lot of time what happens is the money sits in our bank account and the life goes out. And then later we put it in the real estate and things. But we are very intelligent for growing the wealth of others. So this topic and today's session is more focused on how do you take care of your own wealth. So you become free from this cycle of earning money and this daily routine, how you can utilize your wealth to work for you. And health, wealth without health is no use. One of our greatest businessmen of India, Dhirubhai Ambani ji, he was a great businessman, did a great thing, but he had a stroke and after that the health deteriorated. So what happens is the wealth is important, but if there is no health, there is no use of the wealth. So that's why paying attention to the wealth is as important as that. So these two things, even though are two different corners of the story, but one without the other is not of any help to anybody. So can I have the change in the slide? So this is the money. So we are going to cover wealth. And then second one, next. So this is the health. At the same time, wealth and health, both has to be taken care. And the third one, this is what the happy people we want all our members to be. Feel that joy and life in you all the time. This is what we always want our members to be. Next, so I'll share the calendar with you. So today we are having the yoga for health and wealth. Then we are having a Youth Connect event on 18th of July. We are doing an event on future of audit and IFRS 18 update on 26th July. This is a very strong lineup. We have regulators coming from DFM, DFSA, and also regulator from ADGM also is coming. And there's a very unique lineup which we already have for this. Then we are having the AI Masterclass from India. Already, I think we got oversubscribed. We are still trying to see how much we can cover up. This is a very popular session. Don't miss it. If we are not able to cater to you right now, we're going to have another set of sessions till we ensure that everybody get that learning. And then on 16th of August, we are going to have Independence Day and Onam Sandhya celebration. So that is in planning. We are going for Masai Mara trip. And then we are also planning a Shiv Khera session of leadership business program. That is more or less it's planned. The seats are very limited, let me tell you. In this, we are not going to redo again. The seats are very limited and there is going to be an early bird offer. So grab it as soon as possible because once this gets finished, the seats are restricted. We don't want a very big crowd in that session. So make use of that opportunity. It's been negotiated for our members. And then we are before the corporate tax return for timing of September will come. So we are planning a session on corporate tax return. And again, e-invoicing in October, we have a deadline. So that's happened. These are some of the major events planned. Independence Day, Onam, as I said, Masai Mara. We are going to have a job fair in September. So this is also again under planning. The biggest other event is Diwali. Then we have the annual, another annual conference, let me share with you. Our annual conference this year going to be very, very large because this year it will be more like a GCC level of attraction we are going to get. So it is going to be very large. We have selected the location also. There's a lot of coordination going with the India. So it will be another huge event for the year. So if any of the members, like you are a member, if there are colleagues, CAs who are not members of the chapter, encourage them to join, because this is a not missable event. It's going to happen for Dubai for the first time in the GCC. So please look forward to that. We are going to have the outdoor sports tournament, again, the International Women's Day. And there's a lot of events in between, but these are the highlight events. Next slide. So these are some of the initiatives. Please keep rolling. These are some of the initiatives we have already done. The roll-up banners are outside. If you are not part of initiative like Fitness Drive, discounted, offer, again, there's a FT times special offer for the members, which we have got. Nobody has it, that kind of offer. 60 days window, make use of it. There's a lot of learning you can get out of it. And a lot of initiatives like Youth Connect, Legacy Connect are there. You don't know how to know about it. So we have all the roll-ups outside there. If you don't understand it, take a round and just scan it and learn it. And this is the job portal. I encourage everybody that if you have jobs for chartered accountants, please make an effort and post it on our job portal. Uga in our executive committee is taking care of it. If you have a question, ask him. Create job for our chartered accountants is very important, because helping each other build a strong community. So I encourage everybody, make an effort. One job you created, it changes life of another chartered accountant. So think about it. It's an effort done by the committee to develop this for 4 months. Now we need your support to create jobs for our members. And then we have created a lot of knowledge database. We have created GPTs. We are doing a lot of series on the AI. You can see that we did Claude a week back. So we are developing a lot of things. Keep looking at our website. Even our website is now going through another revamp. Mahindra is working on it. And so you'll see a lot of things are coming out. We are putting a lot of efforts to generate new AI ideas and all. But at the same time, if you have some brilliant idea, which you think why ICI Dubai chapter is not doing, your chairman standing right here is a friend. Talk to me, call me, message me. I'm always available, because ultimately our goal is not to do something for the committee. It is for the members. So share your ideas, bring it forward. My request. So this is the FT Profession 60 days subscription. If you have not used it, use it. It's very good. I'm personally using it. Next. So these are 5 areas where we want to, kind of recognize our members, bring new members, because the more members join, they gain out of in the process. And we want to recognize you for making that effort. So once they register, they can give your membership number, and that's how we are tagging it. And introduce high profile. I'll be sharing one form with you in the coming week, where I need support from you in getting us speakers, getting us any sponsor want to be part of, anything where any new ideas, please share it with us, because we want to work it together. It's our theme of the year is our members, our strength. So let's work it together. Next slide. So I want to thank my committee. All are here. Without that, nothing happens. Give them another round of applause. Because once, sir, कुछ जोश नहीं आ रहा है. डाल दो. I think what happened is, without them, nothing went. So I really want your support to always encourage them. Whenever they're there, give them a smile, because they spend a lot of time. I am very thankful for their time. Next one. So I want to thank some of the people who have kind of contributed, whether getting a speaker or something. Now, most of them are not there in the room. I've got a certificate to give to them. Maybe in the next event, we're going to share it with them. Next one. So I'll end it with this one doha from Kabir Das. साईं इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुम संभाए मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं साधु ना भूखा जाए. So God give me only that much by which my family can live comfortably. Let me never go hungry, and let no guest or needy person leave my home hungry. So the message is that let's build a good health, let's build a good wealth, and have a happy life. So with that, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the session. Over to you, Secretary Madam.
What a lovely thought. And I can vouch for it. He's someone who's always open for new ideas. Every now and then he keeps telling us, bring out your fresh ideas. So yes, we really need a very big round of applause for him for coming up with different ideas and making us all agree to it. Dubai. Dubai is an investment hub. How many of you agree? Yes. People from across the world, they come here. They bring in their money. They are investing in real estate, in businesses. This is a place where dreams come true. But does common man really need economic reports, or they really understand investments forum. Do we as common men understand it? No. Yes, chartered accountants definitely. But a general common man will not understand. What does they believe in Dubai and they invest? Is just the confidence in leadership, the confidence in the laws here, confidence in the economy here, and the confidence that the tomorrow will be better than today. That is what we live in Dubai for, all of us. Dubai has earned that confidence over decades, and that is why it has become one of the most sought-after investment destinations. To help us understand this remarkable journey and what lies ahead, we are privileged to have with us an eminent speaker, Mr. Osama Al Rahma, the chairman, Foreign Exchange and Remittance Group. But to formally introduce him, I would like to invite our treasurer, who is our foreign exchange and everything that is in his control. So our chapter's treasurer, to formally introduce him. Over to you, Sanjay Bhai. Please give him a round of applause.
लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन गुड इवनिंग ऋषि भाई ने भी बोला कुछ एनर्जी लेके आओ वंस अगेन गुड इवनिंग सो theme today is about health and wealth. So let's first talk about wealth, and later we have one dedicated session coming on the health as well. Very famous quote says, don't spend your health to earn wealth. Don't spend your health to earn wealth. Later you spend then in wealth to regain your health. If you like it, you can give a clap to me, right? So ladies and gentlemen, every great city has its landmarks, and UAE and Dubai particularly knows about a lot of landmarks, and that credit goes to the visionary leaderships, individuals. And today we have such individual available with us, among us, as a guest of honor. Dubai's remarkable journey into a global financial and investment hub has been shaped by one such gentleman, our guest of honor, who has dedicated over 3 decades to the financial service industry, holding leadership positions that have significantly contributed to the growth of UAE, banking exchange, and fintech sector. He has served as the CEO of Al Fardan Exchange, chaired the Foreign Exchange and Remittance Group under the Dubai Chamber. And today he continues to serve as an advisor, board member, and leader across the financial service ecosystem. His impressive academic background include executive leadership study at Harvard University and expertise in the fintech and corporate governance. This evening, he will share his thought on the topic that close to many of all of us here, Dubai as an investment hub. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm ICI Dubai welcome to our distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Osama Al Rahman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my thank to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for such privilege to be with you here and with the members. I believe when I saw the full-fledged activities, it's been an active, chapter down here. I believe with active people as well. This is also kind of reflection of what's the dynamics of Dubai and UAE as well. I think that is a great effort you are contributing to, and to your members and to the industry as a whole. Thank you very much for that. And during the session also before, I saw a lot of people, all the friends, for so many times. This is a very small community, I believe. Happened that with Mr. Krishna, when we started speaking, we had common friends, and he been in my previous company in Al Fardan as part of the audit. He met with my chairman, so he has triggered also a lot of good, positive memories, which we all need always in our lives. And that thing which I will cover little at the end of the session, which Mr. C.A. Rishi asked me to cover on health, and C.A. Ashina made me to feel sometimes, guilty that, about the exercising you are speaking about. So, which is always the dilemma between how you balance between work environment and the health side. And I believe this is a very good topic. Everybody should be aware today about the needs and the necessity of looking after our health. With all those kind of, today I'll try to be focused and more to the point when it comes to speak about the wealth. And the wealth, I believe there's more details with Mr. Amit. He will go deep dive into alternatives of investments. But being on my capacity as I'm heading the wealth management at the Emirates Investment Bank as well, and which is very focused bank. It's a specialized bank in the private banking and wealth management. We are not a retail bank. And at the same time, I'm chairing the wealth management committee at the Bank Federation, where we have a very ambitious strategy toward positioning UAE as a wealth hub. And that is when we say positioning UAE as a wealth hub, we are comparing it to Singapore, to Switzerland, UK, and other top jurisdictions. So this is kind of a strategic, ambitious plan happened by all the banks in the UAE and supported by the UAE government as well, and especially the Ministry of Economy. Coming down now with all things happened during the geopolitical matters, and which we have all seen, and many of us lived that one, which is unprecedented to many of us, and whether this has impacted our way or our confidence on the things, figures and data would show us that UAE is always having its own ability to be more resilient and to absorb and to get the lessons in a faster way. Just going back a little bit, we all know what has happened during the subprime crisis, how the media during 2007, 2008, and the overall things has shaken a lot of people's views and perception about this city and this country. Later on, we've been able to overcome everything and things start revolving again, but in a more better and a more faster and more accelerated way. Suddenly, the oil impact on the low oil prices in 2014 took place, and everybody started also claiming that things will be impacted down here, and this country being able to overcome the whole thing. Still, we remember during the government summit, which is being hosted by UAE always, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, in one of those events, he told all the senior top people from all over the world, he said, we are working to the year of 2050 when the last barrel we will be celebrating exporting last barrel, because at that time we are not dependent any longer. Guess what? Today we are seeing about 2025, the contribution of non-oil to whole UAE is only 79%. So it is much beyond that aim to 2050. 79% is the non-oil contribution to the overall GDP. Dubai as an emirate, it's less than 2%. So that gives you kind of a real indication that this country is not relying on oil production, which being impacted as we saw in the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, right? But things has been going in a very systematic and very sustainable way. Coming couple of days, or maybe I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum announced that in the first quarter, and being a ruler of Dubai, Prime Minister of UAE, he said the GDP was 232 billion dirham for the first quarter with a growth of 2.4%. Many people thought at the time when the things being shut down, airports, logistics, everything, that we should have a direct negative impact. But the announcement shows that we had a growth within the first quarter for the GDP. This gives you a real indication about the real foundation of this economy and its ability to be more resilient and to absorb all this kind of shocks, which nobody thought about it at any level in any time. But that announcement creates a lot of a positive, we call it, understanding that the future will be much better. Also, at the same time, a UAE just been ranked as, based on UNCTAD, the United Nations Organization for Trade, as the 9th on global level to attract foreign direct investment for the FDIs. 9th on a global level, UAE is attracting. For last year, UAE were able to bring $48.3 billion as a foreign direct investment, which made it on such rank with a growth on year to year by 6%. What would make people from all over the world to bring all these funds to the UAE unless they have real confidence about the level of how to secure their investments and how to have a real growth in their investment? That is a good indication, because those people will not just dump money for the sake of pleasing anybody. They calculate every single penny going to be invested down here. Having this one on official United Nations, a report give us another indication about how this economy is performing. And at the same time, the total balance of investments within UAE is around 1.17 trillion dirham. So that is the accumulation of all those investments took place within UAE. And for the third year on consecutive years, it is the second in the number of projects, of invested projects. So this is also give us, on a global level, by the way, we are the second on the size of projects. We have 1,562 projects for investment taking place. And keep in mind that 45% of those projects are greenfield projects. That shows us the kind of real foundations behind the attraction of such direct investments and what the UAE government been building in the past. And when we speak about that, and I will cover on a brief on what we be doing as from wealth point of view and how that really attracts overall investment. But at the same time, this is what we are seeing demonstrating the more accumulated historical foundation for such economy, which being very strong and very resilient, and at the same time very sustainable. Along with, as we all know, UAE is positioned from global international relationships. UAE is having a very advanced level of commercial relationships and worldwide recognition from all countries, being it in Europe and the Americas, both Americas, especially now the focus on Latin America, Africa, Asia. So this kind of, neutral relationships, including Asia, especially with India. Yes, we have a very strong strategic relationship with India, and it's been always embraced by His Highness, and then down to China, to all other countries. This kind of a global relationships also add a lot of value to the trade and to the strategic and logistic and supply chains for UAE, along with what we call it the ability within the regulatory frameworks to advance. We have seen the government 2 years ago focusing on what we call it zero bureaucracy. So all government, federal government, they've been mandated to go back to the processes, procedures, and make sure that they are eliminating those, multiple things of requirements, making sure we are more, lean and more, easy to interact, and that has been happening on federal level. Was dedicated one of His Excellency just to go all over federal. I myself participated in the central bank workshop, and we've been able to, address so many things, and that's been immediately implemented from wealth management point of view. It is about the structured products, which been taking at least a month's time, and now this has been all being given kind of one time, no objection letter. So with all those advancements, along with this strong economy within the country, along with the ability to attract a lot of foreign direct investments, the country itself invested in itself, which we also living the infrastructure, the advanced level of, overall, logistic, aviation, ports, the airlines, but at the same time, the sovereign fund of UAE amounted to almost $2.49 trillion, which makes it also, this is another reserve for the whole country, and shows that kind of accumulation of wealth on sovereign level is being also invested on a global level, trying to mitigate any kind of risks happening within this region. So this kind of diversification on country level also, and one of the largest sovereign funds between so many entities, and one of the famous ones we all know, like ADIA, the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, or the Dubai's Investment Sovereign Fund. Now, the aim here is also not just to rely on what's been happening, but there is a clear focus on a strategic level to accelerate things, especially with the dynamics of the geopolitical things happening. Now the focus, as you all might be aware, on the artificial intelligence, on advanced industries within the country, on enhancing the logistic and supply chains as well. But there is a focus now, the government's taking the initiatives to, UAE government as a government, to train 80,000 of their employees and related parties on AI alone. It's one of those countries on a global level who adopted the AI and making it kind of a tool that can accelerate efficiency, accelerate the way of doing business, and accelerate the finding opportunities of being more resilient, and try to really to avail from the whole, AI advanced technologies, including the level of investments. And yesterday I was reading, it's been permitted that those sophisticated advanced technology, UAE has been one of those that US been permitting UAE to have that one. And there's a lot of projects. This is not a place to speak about it, but when it comes to advanced technology and manufacturing of advanced technologies and chips related to AI, UAE is one of those global hubs for the same. So it is not just about what's been happening, but it's about what's going to happen in the near future, which creates more confidence and at the same time more opportunities for the investors and for investment point of view. For us, when I say about Wealth Hub, so we are addressing so many things. I'll just touch on those, on high-level titles, just to tell you that we went down and we tried to benchmark UAE with all those global hubs, like Switzerland, like UK, Singapore, and we came down with a clear deep dive on all the related, details around, for example, arbitration. And we wanted to know how we are positioned when it comes to the arbitration level and what we can do. We went down to the inheritance and succession, Also, this is one of the things which comes into the mind of anybody who wants to have his own investment or his family office down here in UAE. We went to the AML and CFT, how robust and how advanced the regulatory frameworks around anti-money laundering and combating terrorist financing. We went to the laws and regulations around the corporate governance, about the insolvency and about bankruptcy. We touched on the asset repositions, and we touched on the real estate market as a whole, taxation, the risk, talent availability, and the complexity of products and launch of the diversity of product and suits, and then of ease of doing business. And I believe all of you would believe that establishing a business down here became very easy and direct and straightforward. And we also touched on the market perceptions, and which is very important, especially today. And I believe all of you are ambassadors. A lot of things within the past months between, during the interruption of geopolitical things, a lot of kind of negative focused media was being publicized abroad. People who've been living here, they were seeing totally different picture. People who opt to stay here, they were feeling very safe. And people were having their own normal life, I believe. Would you agree on this? So that is, all of us, we needed to tell the others. I remember I have a lot of friends from all over, and I got messages, are you safe? Is everything okay? And we kept telling them we are just acting in normal life. And I remember out of office, it was only 4 or 5 days where we worked out, remotely. All other days, we were going to office and we were feeling very safe, and we never thought that something would be going wrong. And alhamdulillah, the whole country, and thanks to our army and the armed forces here who took a real, initiatives to protect the skies and the land of United Arab Emirates. We are touching also on emerging asset classes, especially digital assets, and UAE is being one of those forward countries to have clear regulatory frameworks. We have VARA here, the Virtual Asset Authority, and now the banking sectors. We know that Central Bank of UAE came with their CBDC, which is the dirham, digital currency, and part of its own infrastructure is the on open finance is to have the stable coins, which are also people having that one. Another is a big project taking place, which is called Al Jisr, which is having the domestic settlement and payments to take place directly with with the different countries on domestic level, and the swap currency will take place by local currencies. One of it is with India, with Turkey, with Pakistan, with Egypt, with China. China already they have launched that one. So it will be a swap between dirhams and yuan, for example, and that is being launched by His Highness Sheikh Mansour. It was publicized as well. So this kind, there's in the pipeline almost 27 countries on the same, makes the UAE dirhams also a currency of demand and a currency of reserve, by the way. So that is another issue. We know there's a lot of trade takes place nowadays using dirham as a currency of settlement. Capital flow, technology and digitization, and family offices, those issues. This is which we work from wealth management as initiatives. I didn't want to go into such details, but just as high level, but we are going deep into every single title of those ones and try to benchmark UAE along with other top countries to make sure that this regulatory frameworks, the level of government adoption and different stakeholders are really contributing to make it one of the best in this regard. This is the part of wealth, and I hope I am not taking a long time. Just give me this one when you feel that I need to conclude. Where? Oh, okay, I have 3 minutes now. This is good. Okay. Yeah, I thought I am overseeing then. Now, within 3 minutes about health, what we should speak about health. I mean, ask the ChatGPT, will tell you a lot of options. But yes, it's important things. My views, because you were talking about the being long in the industries and this, definitely also we have developed our own insights, right? We have developed our own understanding about the things and how we look to the health. It's not about, now we all know this new terminology, the longevity, this became part, right? Everybody knows about longevity, how we can survive more, how we can live longer, right? And it's all about the human body in a way, right? What you should eat, what is more healthier, what is not healthy, you know, your habits, your way. So that is, I think, is being covered, and there's a lot of initiatives taking place. We, as a bank, in Emirates Investment Bank, we're keeping part of the lifestyle is about longevity for our clients. So this is part of our new initiatives. But coming to realities, I believe, you know, it's about us, how we look to the things in general. It's about our perceptions. It's about our mindsets. It's about how we look to ourselves, not just from a materialistic point of view, but from emotional and mental health, I believe. And that is a key and I would not elaborate a lot. Refer to if you have you ever heard about the longest study about the good living of Harvard? Have you heard about that one? Just go back, if you don't mind. Watch the TED things, which he summarized. There is a whole book around that one. This is the longest study, more than 80 years in continuous. There is the 4th director from Harvard on that one. And in summary, after watching people since they were teenagers, going all the way down to their, you know, if they reach to the age of 70 or 80 or whatever. And they went through details of the lives of all, you know. And the guy who was speaking, he was saying, we made it a survey. Most of the young people, when you ask them what you want, 80% say we want to be rich, 50% said we want to be famous. And when they went through such a study in reality, who lived more and who lived more happier and who had the real good living, it's all about what? Money? Wealth? No. It was about good relationships. Imagine. Good relationships. And that was the key survivor for these people to have longer life, happier life, and we call it good living. Now that one, if you allow me, another few now it went into red. But I believe, and that is, they said how this is not any relationship. It's about quality relationships, starting from the family, friends, and community. And we say healthy one, which is a quality one, which is you have a real match around it. You know, that makes a difference. So isolated people will always suffer. Isolated people who are not connected with us. Those who have more friends, good friends, will always survive more. I will not go. And what we call it quality close relationships, that also make a big change in the life, and I will not go into details of that one. And good relationships to protect the people and their brains as well. This is what they have found. This is based not on theoretical thing. This is based on a pure scientific research. Took a place, is still going on. They call it the longest research and the study already been happening. And there's a book around the whole study because one of this, you know, people died and people came and they went through the generations of those people. This is not coming from anything. In my views then, along with what they've been saying, and I will refer you to the same things, also in our relationships, it's about how we develop perceptions toward the things. You decide on the wordings which you hear, whether you take it positive or you take it negative. If you take it negative, it will have an emotional impact on you on a negative way, and you will, stay whole your day, feeling with grievances, right? If you take it on a different way, or you just take it away and you hear here, then you already helped yourself, actually. And this is which I was thinking, this is my now views: forgiveness, humility, truth in life, and forgiveness, and suppressing what I call it anger. Try always to be beyond those issues. This is from real experience, which I believe is being happening, and I've been practicing those issues myself as well. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much for those lovely thoughts, sir. Yes, we truly believe in the leadership here, and that's why we all Indians stayed here. We truly believe in Dubai, and Dubai has been our second home. On the health side, yes, positivity and happiness. Anger issues we should all control, but positivity and happiness keeps us going. With that, I would like to invite our chairman, treasurer, and we have our partners today from Spectrum and SBC, Mr. Balaram Vichudi and Naveen Kabra. Please come on the stage to felicitate our guest of honor. Please give him a very big round of applause. Thank you. Moving on to the next segment. The topic is understanding global investment cycles. In this event of crisis, most of us must have been worried what is going to happen. But there are certain segment of people who also found opportunity in the crisis. Isn't it? Don't you think there was opportunity for many people even in the crisis? Yes, job losses happened, lot of things happened, but there is always an opportunity in every situation. A city that has caught the world, one most important lesson is when the world changes, those who actually adapt grow. Dubai itself has seen many changes, uncertainties, and turning points, but every time it looked beyond the crisis and found the opportunity hidden in itself. Because wealth is not just created by only earning money. It is always created by understanding the change, where money moves, why investors think differently, and how the global cycles actually create opportunity. The question is not, will there be uncertainty? The question is, will we understand it well enough to turn the uncertainty into an opportunity? So very interesting topic now, understanding global investments. And to take us through this, we have none other than Mr. Amit Bhartiya, who has flown away all the way from Singapore here. But to formally introduce him, I would like to invite our ExCom member, C.A. Vijay Mohan. He's also flown from a session today. So yes, please give him a very big round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are delighted to welcome Mr. Amit Bhatia, founder and portfolio manager of De Lorraine Partners, a global investment office based in Singapore with teams across Asia, Europe. He is also a partner with Willoran Capital in San Francisco, where he contributes to the strategies focused on North America's reindustrialization. With more than 30 years of experience in global investing, Mr. Bhatia has built a remarkable career. He spent nearly 3 decades at GMO Boston, one of the world's leading asset allocation firms, where he led emerging market research and served as CEO of GMO Singapore. His work has consistently centered on identifying long-term investment cycles and turning them into opportunities for institutions worldwide. At Health and Wealth Building Better Tomorrow, Mr. Bhatia will share his insights on understanding global investment cycles to spot the right opportunities, helping us to explore how to think ahead and invest wisely in a rapidly changing world. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Amit Bhatia.
Great. Well, thanks for having me here. Today I'm going to talk about investment cycles and how to find the winners within them. For years, this used to take a fortune, right? You had to hire teams of economists and quant strategists and travel extensively, meeting central bankers and economists and local strategists to, to kind of do global investing hopefully right? And it is not easy, right? And I can tell you, I was an emerging markets investor for close to 30 years, traveling extensively across the world, trying to find the next India, Brazil, China, whatever it is. And honestly, it was difficult. And we got it wrong more often than right. But today what's happened is because of AI and availability of information processing power, today I would say that you can be a top-notch global investor just sitting here on your desktop. And what I want to do in the next 30 minutes is walk you through the process, tell you guys how do I think and how can you use some of these tools effectively to be a better investor. In fact, I would make the claim that today you can actually be as good or even a better investor than some of the top Wall Street firms. Why? You guys have no career risk, no benchmark risk, no big committees. Look at the data, do some hard work, use AI tools effectively, and you can be among the best in business. So the walls have come down. Let's go over the next 30, 40 minutes. So 3 steps in this presentation. First is the evidence, method, and the discussion. Part 1 is musical chairs, in which I will go through asset classes, countries, themes in detail over the last 20, 25 years. You can see that nothing remains on top, right? What's a winner today becomes a loser tomorrow, and so on. Number 2 is the method, right? How do we look at the world? How do we get signals from all the noise that is around us? And number 3 is some of the discussion on some of the investments we made, some of the calls we've talked about and written and have invested in ourselves. For the record, my company, it's a small family office in Singapore, so I'm not selling anything. It's my own book. So I'll just talk you through the process in which we think about our investments. Part 1 is musical chairs. Every year the winner chair disappears. Good part is opportunities everywhere, right? But if you focus on headlines, what's happening, wars, interest rates, and all this politics stuff, you will miss out on some of the biggest bull markets everywhere. This is a very interesting, good slide, and I'm going to spend some time on it. What this slide shows is the periodic table of returns. 11 years, nothing stays on top. And I'm going to urge you to follow the white line, that is that of Bitcoin. We call it like a periodic table of returns, and I'm sure you've seen this slide in a lot of research reports or Wall Street strategist reports. So what I've plotted here is some of the biggest asset classes, emerging markets, gold, commodities, S&P, Bitcoin over the years. And you can see their performances across time and their relative ranking between each. Couple of points stand out. One, if you chase the last 12 months winner, 50% of the time, it will be in the bottom half the next year, right? So be careful on whom you chase. Number 2 is every asset is either hit the top 3 or the bottom 3 at one point in time. So there is reversion. Let's look at Bitcoin, right? And it's a good lesson in when you hear about averages from your private banker or your strategist, right? So it's easy to say, well, in the last 10 years, India did this or Bitcoin did this, and so on. But if you see, it's only 2 or 3 years in which Bitcoin did very well. Most of the time, it's actually did quite poorly. But when you average out and you can say, well, it did great over a period of 10 years. So average lies, be careful about it. Number 4 is you look at US, and it's very interesting, and I've used S&P 500 as a representative index. It was never in the top 1, and it was never in the bottom. And yet, it has compounded beautifully at about 15% a year, because it didn't have just large drawdowns. It didn't incur the volatility tax. Number 5, you can see every year, we've seen rotation, and it's pretty much live in the last 2 years. Last year, gold was the number 1 asset class. This year is among the bottom. Oil did very poorly last year. It's among the best asset classes this year. We can also see that in emerging markets. For years, it was in the bottom group, right? And I was an investor. I know that there was hardly any returns to the emerging market as an asset class. But last 2 years, it's actually doing quite well just because of Korea, Taiwan, and how AI has helped emerging markets. Also very interesting is there is no such thing as safe investments. 2022, bonds did quite badly. So if you were into, well, I'm just going to hold bonds, that also didn't, help us. So the point is, nothing is safe. There is no asset class that will be consistently and on top. There is no such thing as buy and hold. Learn to rotate your assets and, apply strategies so that, you can have a momentum strategy or a reversion strategy, but make sure you make your assets work for you. There is always a bull market somewhere and a bear market somewhere, and returns scatter every year. And what this slide I have here is the country effect, right? The previous slide had countries as well as themes, commodities, and so on. This is only about countries because we prefer to express our view through countries. And if you see the difference between the best country and the worst country, on an average is a whopping 80%, right? Think about it, it's 80% a year. So if you have a home country bias, right, hey, I'm just gonna invest in US or I'm gonna invest in India or Middle East, whatever, you will miss out or you have missed out some incredible opportunities which happen every year. Okay, one's not such a great investor or it's very difficult to find winners and losers, but even if you think in terms of quartiles, so we break up all the country universe into 4 groups, 4 quartiles. So the top quartile beats the bottom quartile by about 40% a year. So huge opportunities if you get the country right. And we can see that, right? 2022, Turkey was up 100%, Vietnam was down 50%, 150% swing. Last year, Korea was up 100%, while Saudi was down about 8%, again, a 100-point swing. So the spread is the opportunity, even when you think the world is ending. What I have here is about 6 major panics in the last 25 years, where at each point in time, we thought the world is ending, right? We were just bombarded with headlines of, world's gonna end, your bank is gonna collapse, or the US tech market is gonna collapse. But if we look deeper, there was always a bull market somewhere. Let's look at some examples. 2000, the biggest tech bubble bust. S&P was down close to 50%, NASDAQ was down about 70%. But at that time, treasuries did well. Actually, they doubled. Dollar was up 15% a year. The global financial crisis, good example, bank failing every week. We were all worried about, well, should we keep money in this bank and so on. S&P was down 55%, but again, treasuries did well, gold did very well, up 25%. 2020 crash, market was down, 35%, one of the fastest drawdowns we witnessed. But during even that time, treasuries held up value. 2022, more recent, when stocks were down, bonds were down, it was the worst 60-40 in history, and everybody thought, well, 60-40 is dead. But you look at energy stocks up 45%, dollar up 25%, and so on. 2026, I don't know what's going to happen. It's still half year. Maybe AI will collapse or so on. I don't know. But the point is, there is a quite bull market building up somewhere. It's our job to identify those and not just worry about headlines. The first principle, right, and of investing, at least in my book, is how does one protect the purchasing power of our savings? And if you think about it, forget about making money. That is part number 2. Number 1 is, how does one prevent our hard-earned savings to maintain their purchasing power in real terms? And especially in an environment where governments are very loose with their fiscal policy and monetary policies. Think about it. Governments can run high inflation, run high current account deficits. You can have a currency collapses. And what happens? Our decades of saving, governments can take it away through higher inflation. And that's the number 1 risk we have to protect ourselves against. And COVID is a very good point in time, right? We all thought, oh, markets have rallied and so on. But if you think about it, what did the governments do? The Fed balance sheet expanded from $4.5 trillion to about $9 trillion. Money supply went up by 25%. It's the fastest on record. The real yields were very negative. Effectively, what you had was a massive debasement of purchasing power, right? So if you had your money in savings, in checkings account, you can see what really happened. Your $100 became $92. Effectively, governments took away $8 of our hard-earned savings. And what happened during that time? Bitcoin, $100 went to $640. Housing went up from $100 to $130, or gold went up 20%, and so on. My point is that if it's a panic, or if there's an occasion where government is effectively debasing our savings, there are ways to protect our purchasing power. Let's go to part 2, where I'm going to talk about the method, right? How do we look at the word? How do you make sense of all the information that is being bombarded at you? It's by your private banker, it's by headlines and so on. How do you make sense of the word, identify investment opportunities? How do we look at the word? And today, using AI or some of these tools, how should you be looking at the word? Or at least give you some set of tools which can help you make a better investor and make global calls. Let me first read one of the greatest investment quotes, which has significantly influenced my thinking. As investors, I've made a lot of mistakes, continue to do so. And when I read this book, I think about 10 or 15 years back, it actually changed my mind completely. Let me read this. It says, investment and speculation are difficult, not easy, uncertain, not clear-cut, treacherous, not logical. Here, more than anywhere in the world, is the land of illusion. Things are not what they seem. This comes from a book called The Battle of Investment Survival, written by Gerald Loeb in 1935. So I've taken pretty much his principles and adapted it to our framework, which I call it the ABC of investing. A, adopt a speculative mindset. B, imprecise. And C, combine multiple indicators. Now, in a room of chartered accountants, where you guys are trained to be completely logical and get the numbers right, for me to say, being imprecise is, you would say, well, that doesn't make sense. But hold your thought, I'm going to talk a bit more about being imprecise. So, speaking of Gerald Loeb and Battle of Investment Survival, in my opinion, two of the best investing books that has shaped modern investing is mid-30s. One is Modern Security Analysis by Ben Graham, and as you know, considered the father of value investing, which we all know margin of safety, and that's all Buffett has taken. And second book is Loeb. I'm more of a Loeb guy, and I will talk more about why his principles are actually more valid in global investing than the Buffettian kind of investing philosophy. Oh, sorry. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. So, how do you make sense of the word, right? How do you decide which countries to invest in, and what do you do about it? Ours is a 4-step process which we follow. Number 1 is regime identification. Number 2 is country selection. Number 3 is sector or stock selection. And finally, number 4 is risk controls. Let me spend some time on it. So regime identification is very critical, right? So the first thing I want to think about is what's happening in the world, right? What are risk-free rates? What are real rates? What are nominal rates? What is the likely range of returns for major asset classes like S&P or emerging markets and so on? Am I getting paid to take risk? For example, if my real rates are about, let's say, 3% or 4%, which let's say I could get in a fixed income security or a bond or something like that, and my expected returns for, let's say, S&P or something like that is maybe, let's say, 7-8%, is the extra 2% or 3% worth taking so much risk? And that's question number 1. What is happening in the world? Is there a likelihood of a big war, or is it likely of a big bubble? Then maybe I should have more cash than equities, for example. So that is step number 1, to see what regimes we are in, and then take a decision on, how much do I want to invest or not. Number 2 is country selection, and that's where I will be spending more time today in this talk, is how do you identify countries? So we look at countries from 2 metrics, a cyclical framework and a secular framework. A cyclical framework is to think about, well, which countries are likely to do well in the next 12 or 18 months. And you saw the details, right? Every 12 months, the difference between the best and the worst is close to 80%. So what frameworks do you apply to try to capture these winners and avoid the losers? Number 3 is sector selection, right? Okay, you identified a country. I think, let's say you would say India is a great investment, US is a great investment country, but what do you do? Do you invest in semiconductors in US? Do you invest in financials in US? Do you invest in small cap, mid cap, and so on? So if you look at research, and we've looked at that extensively, is especially in emerging market, 60 to 70% of the returns come from country selection. About 20 to 30% is stock selection, and the rest is, 20 to 30% is sector selection, and the rest is stock selection. So what it means is, if you get the country right, half of your job is over. If you get the sector right, again, 25 to 30% of the job is over, and then you should do your research on a particular stock. So you get your country wrong, you can be the world's greatest stock picker, and honestly, it will be very difficult for you to make money. So, so how do you identify countries, right? Number one is, what do you avoid? I think be very careful of narratives, right? What this chart shows is in the last 5 years, 4 countries, 2 hyped, 2 hated. Let's look at 2 of them, right? One is Indonesia and one is Brazil, right? Indonesia, it was one of the consensus buys of every major Wall Street firm. McKinsey basically said about 15 years back, it's gonna be the world's 7th largest economy, overtaking Germany and UK. I have read, God knows, countless research reports from all the major Wall Street firms. Indonesia is such a great play on nickel, on EVs, and so on, and you have this 230 million people going into middle class and so on. But the market is down, 50% over the last 5 years. Same thing on Brazil. I mean, remember, Brazil was the B of BRICS, coined by Goldman Sachs. God knows how many funds were created on BRICS and how many of private bankers must have called you to invest in BRICS and Brazil. The market is done nothing over the last 10 years. In fact, it is still below its all-time high in US dollars, and you can see that. Conversely, 2 countries, Greece and Italy, both from Europe, people had given them for dead. What was the narrative? Oh, these countries are growing at 2 or 3% a year. Why do you want to really invest in them? And Greece has turned out to be one of the best countries in the last 5 years, up close to 200%. Italy is also close to up 100% in the last 5 years. So avoid the narratives and let's think about how we can approach these countries in a logical, structured manner. So these are 4 lenses we look at from country selection. Number 1 is value. Number 2 is momentum, liquidity, and sentiment, right? So let me take a minute on each one of them. So first of all, value. Again, I would say it is the most hyped and overused and misused word, I would say, in investing, right? I mean, what exactly is value, I still haven't figured out, right? Somebody can say, well, it's relative to its own history. Somebody can do a cross-country comparison. In fact, there are hundreds of ways value has been defined by academics themselves, right? They call it like a factor zoo, and there are close to about 500 different factors. So when somebody says it's a value fund, be very careful. Ask them in detail, how do you define value? Because it's extremely imprecise, as I said. Number 2 is momentum. We have 2 principles within momentum. There is a wisdom of crowds, and there is a madness of crowds, right? And I think my only job, I would say, is to identify if there is wisdom or there is madness in crowd. An ability to successfully move from a wisdom to a madness is what I think I do most of the time. Number 3 is liquidity. What's happening? Are interest rates getting tighter or rates are coming down? Because that has a huge impact on fair value of businesses. And finally, sentiment, right? What is the sentiment like? Is there too much? Excessive sentiment is bad, for example. So you want to take these 4 metrics, and these, I would say, are, you can, as I said, define by hundreds of different ways, but I would say these 4s are like, you could call them as, let's say, a Surya Namaskar, right? Yeah, you can have all kinds of pranayams, as my friend Shankar says that, but pretty much one Surya Namaskar or something captures the bulk of your exercise. And the 5th check, I would say, is macro vulnerability, and it's the most important one. I call it, the Sant Andreas test. This is this fault line in California. The point is that a country could look very good on surface, right? Things are going great, GDP numbers are accelerating, but you know what? Underlying the surface, fault lines are building up. Housing prices are in a bubble, or the new politicians who are running the country have some extreme views, and so on. A country is running huge current account deficits. So there is massive vulnerability. And whenever there is vulnerability, our forecasting risk actually comes down. So one has to be extremely careful about it. So what I have done here for the audience is to say, well, can you guys also become global investors? Can you become, compete with the best and the brightest, or think at least have the tools in which other institutions do country analysis, global analysis. So here are kind of simple 6 prompts. They are illustrative prompts, but I think you get the message. Value, you can go to ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever it is, and say, well, hey, on this universe, rank these countries on these metrics, give me a score. Same thing on momentum, liquidity, sentiment, identify countries that are vulnerable. Rank these countries on a score of, rank these countries one across another, and hey, you have a very simple but predictable model, a structured way in which you can analyze countries one against another and think about where you want to invest in. So the outcome of a prompt which I showed in the previous slide is an output something like this. Each country is scored on 3 lenses: value, momentum, and liquidity, and this is actual data. I didn't make anything up. I just used the same prompt from my previous slide and have put the output here. You can see that Korea ranks good on value, momentum, liquidity is yellow. China looks great on value, but momentum is poor, liquidity is okay. US ranks badly on value, but good on liquidity, and so on. And the good part is, as the data keeps changing, these scores will keep changing. I don't know how many of you guys have seen this movie, one of my favorite movies from Pixar called Ratatouille, in which, among all people, a rat basically wants to become the best chef in France, right? And he's guided by Chef Gustavo's vision or motto, basically saying that anyone can cook, but the fearless can be great. The point is that you can start with this and build your own models on top of it. I mean, think of it as like dal makhni, right? You start with a basic dal and garnish it with all kinds of insights you have that. In fact, as chartered accountants, I would say, with your knowledge of forensic accounting and how companies, for example, cook their books and all, maybe you guys can actually have a much better value model than most of us have, right? Put your knowledge, create a better value model, and so on, or build a better momentum model, and so on. The idea is it's fairly democratized right now, and you can also approach global investing in a very structured and analogical manner. So here is an example of how these scores actually panned out. And you can see, just using a simple framework to you can identify winning countries. So the chart shows Greece over time. This is the time series of Greece. In July 2021, when everybody had left Greece for dead, you can see that the value models were very positive. It was very cheap, trading at 5 or 6 times normalized earnings. So our value models were positive, but momentum, growth, and all were quite bad, as you can see. 2023, great politics. Greece investment grade Greece got its investment grade. Debt to GDP came down, and you can see that value, growth, and momentum all turned green. Fast forward, 2024, 2025, GDP growth continued to accelerate. In fact, it was growing faster than other regions in Europe. So again, you had value, growth, momentum, all supportive. Today in 2026, you can see that value is positive, growth is positive, but Greece actually is underperforming countries like Korea, Taiwan. So its relative momentum score is actually come down. It's become neutral. So here's a classic example of a same simple prompt applied on a country, which basically kept us in this market for a long period of time. And we are still in the market, but not as a high weight as earlier. So, yeah. So we've talked about macro investing. Let me spend a minute or two on micro investing. So what I did here was, I took 4 AI models. I froze them in July 2025. That means they didn't have access to any other information after July 2025. And these 4 stocks were KKR, Adobe, and Accenture, right? Same prompt on each one of them. And you can see that for KKR, for example, the models basically set price targets of about 15% to 28%. For Adobe, from 18% to 32%. And for Accenture, about 20% to 35%, right? And everybody was wrong. And you can see that for KKR, the stock was down 40%, Adobe 47%, and Accenture 60%. So again, quoting Loeb, my favorite investor, he said that in 1935, there is no such thing as a final answer to security values. A dozen experts will arrive at 12 different conclusions. So whether it is human, strategist, or AI, there is no free lunch. You'll have to work hard, but you can see that blindly just trusting an AI is not going to help you with your investments too. So how does one use it anyway, right? I have given you examples of how you can apply it in macro investing, in micro investing. But let's look at some do's and don'ts, which we've learned the hard way. Number one, what is AI? AI is effectively a blurry JPEG of the web. It ranks by popularity, not truth, right? And that's a very important thing to always remember. So think about, there are 2 pieces of information, or 2 blogs, let's say. Now one blog, a lot of people visit that site, but it actually is wrong. And another blog in which great information, but hardly any people visit that. So what happens is, it will rank by the blog where more people visit. So one has to be careful. So I know I'm running out of time, but quickly, here are the few do's and don'ts. Number one, most important is anchor to your own data, right? So for example, if you say analyze India or analyze this stock, it will go, let's say there's a 6-month-old research report or something, it will just take data from there, right? So ideally, you should give your own data, link it to Y Finance or whatever it is, or Bloomberg, wherever data you have, but that's very critical. That should be your source of truth. You can read other stuff. I'm going to skip it in interest of time. But I would say one of the most other things is, don't trust it at turning points, right? And you saw that for Adobe, Accenture, and so on. Wherever business models are fundamentally broken or a change, it could be for countries or for stocks. Wherever things have changed, AI will completely break down. So to conclude, 3 things. The machine is yours today, but the judgment is still on you. 3 things. 1, roughly right is better than being precisely wrong. And what do I mean by that? Right? You can do these fancy DCFs and get your numbers down to second decimal point, but it is better to get the direction right than to be precisely wrong, right? So be careful on that. Number 2 is having no carrier risk, especially with individuals, beats a big budget anytime, right? Jeremy Grantham, whom I had the fortune to work with, says that the central truth of the investment business is that investment behavior is driven by carrier risk, right? Pros have to go with the flow. You don't have to do that. So, and that's a real edge as investors we have. Number 3 is audit the machine like a client, right? Being chartered accountants, you guys audit all the time. And I think it's very important, especially with AI, to have that same mindset, right? AI will give you this perfect interface and this perfect looking DCF and so on. And I have seen countless examples where AI just made up things, right? It made up data, it made up transcripts. So learn to audit them and cross-check the data. And so today the tools are everywhere, but what is scarce is judgment. And that again, AI cannot replicate that. So I think I'm out of time. These are the few topics that usually come out, a discussion. I can have a discussion with you separately, or feel free to discuss with me or email me, or I can send you the slides of some of these topics on US, bubble, gold, and so on. So thank you.
Thank you so much. The audience are glued to their seat. That tells, the session was very, very insightful. To felicitate him, I would like to invite our chairman and our ExCom Vijay Mohan, along with 2 members, G. Venkateshwaran and Usha Rani. Please come on the stage to felicitate our speaker. Please give him a very big round of applause. A lot of efforts he has flown specially for you all. I would request the ExCom to please join us for the speakers group photo. Please, ExCom and all the speakers, please come. Thank you. Our next topic, opportunities in alternative investments. To speak about it, we have none other than our fellow member, CA Piyush Jhunjhunwala. Rather than introducing him, I would like to tell you a short story, which actually fits in the topic also. Last year, I was discussing with him at the Abu Dhabi annual conference. Piyush Bhai asked me, Ashna, what are you into? And I explained to him the various verticals that we have. Core chartered accountancy verticals. That time he said, Ashna, you as a chartered accountant are helping clients to save the wealth, but you don't have a vertical where you are making them invest in it. So you are actually creating the value and somebody else is earning out of it. You should also think of that as an alternative. And on his advice, we also started that division. So that is how value addition happens. And that is how he made me think of alternative investments. So yes, without taking much of your time, I would like to invite our ExCom, Dikshit Jain, to please come and introduce him. Dikshit Mohan ban gaya. Mohan ki tarah smile hai uski. So Dikshit Jain to please come and introduce our next speaker, CA Piyush Jhunjhunwala.
Can I have a bigger round of applause for myself, please? Thank you. First of all, madam, thank you for renaming me, because people are anyways confused if I have 2 surnames. So I have 1 name now, Dikshit Mohan. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Very well. So today's topic is about health and wealth. So before I introduce our next speaker, who is also a very dear friend of mine, let me ask this simple question to the audience here. If you are given a chance to select the best of the health and $1 billion tomorrow, what is going to be the option for you to be selected? Who is going to be selecting $1 billion? Only one person? The rest, all of you are going to select the health, is it? Okay, very nice. Can I get a greater answer like everybody else is health, right? You're all lying. If I give you $1 billion check, everybody will keep running here. Okay, health is fine. Anyways, I think, yeah, money is something which speaks a lot. But yes, as there's one Arabic proverb, I don't know Arabic, but I think I can translate that in English. It says, the one who has health has hope, and one who has hope has everything. So I think health is the most important thing for all of us. We should all focus on that, and that's how we can enjoy everything, the family, the wealth, because everything is just a byproduct. If you have a good health, you will be having a sound mind and everything else. Now, coming back to the introduction of my friend Piyush, I was just asking him that, what should I introduce you, because you are already well known. So he said, there are a lot of things about me. You can tell everything. I said, no, I don't want to bore people. But yes, he has been, he has been working with a lot of multinational companies. He has worked with PepsiCo, Racket, and a lot of other companies. He has founded the Stockify a few years back, which is helping a lot of investors, a lot of my friends to invest into the unlisted segment, the alternative investments. So today he is going to talk about that segment, how we can all make money from that segment. And I think there is a lot to learn about this particular field. So without taking much of your time, everybody knows him. Please give him a round of applause, Mr. Piyush Jhunjhunwala. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Can people at the back hear me? I see a lot of mobile phones at the back. Can people at the back please switch off their mobile phones? The front benchers also. I'm going to talk about, I've been given 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to finish on time, Rishi Bhai. Rishi Bhai and everybody, great initiative. Thank you very much to all the ExComs under the leadership of Rishi Bhai. And my dear friend Dikshit told me backstage, how should I introduce you? I said, you don't have to introduce me. I'm just like one of yours. I'm a normal chartered accountant, okay? I have a slide about myself. I'm going to talk about that. I'm just like all of you. I came into this country, beautiful country, I must say, in 2008. And like all of you, thinking of getting a fancy job, getting a car, and all those things. And all of us achieved it, but then, at the age of 35, 36, I was the CFO of a company called Reckitt Benckiser, again, one of the best companies I've worked for. It is the manufacturer of Dettol. And I was getting bored. Every 2-3 years, the company will push me to go to another new country. Obviously, when you travel, you learn. I traveled 40 countries with them, but I was getting bored. I wanted to do something of my own. I survived 12, 15 years into that company because it is a very entrepreneur-driven company. I was an entrepreneur. I was a CFO, but I was an entrepreneur-driven CFO. So that is how Stockify came into existence. And the second reason is Dubai. We all love Dubai. That is why you're all here. And UAE, the leadership, I don't need to repeat again how beautiful the country is and how able the leadership is of this country. So I didn't want to leave, so that's how I thought, okay, let me do something meaningful. So, COVID came, and when you have nothing to do, all good ideas come. And I was stuck in India. The traffic between UAE and India was stopped for a couple of months, 4-5 months. That is why this idea came. And I thought, let me take this idea of personal investing journey to a business idea. That was about me. So Stockify I spoke about. We came into existence in 2021, fag end of 2021. 2022 is when we started scaling up. We started with a small office in Bangalore, and I can proudly say, bootstrap by the way, for our own hard-earned money. Obviously it was tax-free because I was in UAE. And then the journey from there to today, we have offices in Delhi, Bangalore, Calcutta, and Dubai. And we have a very lean team. I always believe that technology is something which you need to adapt. I'm wearing AI glasses, and I'm going to take a picture of all of you, if all of you are okay. Rishi Bhai, I'm allowed to take the picture of all of them? Hey, Meta, take a picture. So I just took a picture of all of you. And why am I telling that technology is very important? That when I started Stockify back in 2022, I didn't know how to take a domain. how to buy a www domain from GoDaddy, I didn't knew it. The whole presentation which you're going to see, I've made it in less than 90 minutes from Claude. And it was last night. I gave the prompt to Claude. I gave my idea. I said, do this research. Claude made a lot of mistake, obviously, because it's in AI. I corrected those mistakes. Earlier, I would call up my marketing guy, give them the idea. They will take weeks to do the job. So technology is something which is very, very important in every aspect of our life. So I'll request each one of you to please start adapting technology. Because if you don't adapt technology, you will become obsolete. And Chartered Accountant is one community which will never become obsolete. But I meet a lot of people, and I have a privilege of meeting a lot of people, and all important people, when I speak to them, they always are a great learner. So I'm also a learner today. I am still learning. I'm learning golf. I recently started golf, and when I started playing 3-4 months ago, I was in the 72 shots, which is required in an 18 hole. I was taking 130, 140 shots. I was feeling like very bad. Today I'm under 100, because you have to keep doing it, same thing again and again, and you will learn. So that's my journey about me. I'm going to talk about alternate assets without talking. Today we are going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about 2 very important markets. Let me call it 4 very important markets from my aspects, where the world is very big. Our dear friend Mr. Bharatia was here. He said that picking the country is very, very important. So 65% to 70% of your investment journey is picking the right countries, and then comes the sector and all. So the same thing here. This is a very beautiful chart, and I want everybody to pay a little attention to this chart. You will see that the GDPs of the India, US, China, and UAE. So these are the 4 countries I presented. In my investment thesis, I'm not going beyond these 4 countries. Obviously, there are a lot of countries, and with all due respect to the Greece and the Italy and all the other countries which people might say. But as a personal investor, and when I am talking about investments, I'm talking about these 4 countries. And I have a logic to it, which I will explain it to you. Can I get a water, please? Thank you, Ashna. So there are 3 aspects which I want to talk about. One is the average age. If you look at the average age of India, it is under 30. The average age of UAE is 33. The average age of US is 40. China is also 39. Does anybody in the room, knows what is an average age of Japan? Can we pass a mic on that side, please? No, at 75 they cannot survive. Good. You are too far. You are an accountant, right? So you have to look at ChatGPT and then do a ChatGPT and give an answer. So sorry, James, I'm just pulling your legs. The answer is 47. So Japan, it was a darling 15 years ago when we were all growing up in the 90s. I'm a 90s kid, guys. While Anu Agarwal would be there, we have all heard the movie. We've all grown up from that. So you can hear about her and what happened in 90s. But Japan, when we were growing up, 90s everybody was talking about Japan. But today, nobody speaks about Japan. The answer is because the average age is 47. It's an age population. The aspiration is not there. So India is an aspirational country. The average age is 30. You can go back to your 30s and you can see at 30s you actually had a lot of aspirations. That is why the aspiration will drive consumption. The next factor is if you see the GDP growth rate. India's GDP is growing at around 6.5%. I personally believe India should grow at 10%. While our Prime Minister is doing a great job, but I still believe there is a lot of slack which is at the bottom. India should grow at least double digit for the next 5-7 years, but then whatever it is, we are still growing at 2x the rate of the world economy. If you see the GDP of the entire world, it is around 3.5%. So we're growing at 6.5%, which is still great. UAE also is one example. UAE, while the growth rate is a little muted with 3.5%, also because of all the situation which has arose in the last 6-7 months, I can assure you the leadership makes a lot of difference. So this is why I always say India and UAE will always grow well. And US, unfortunately, I personally don't like it, but I'll have to say, US has got all the money. Look at the market cap of the US economy, of the companies which are listed in US, $75 trillion. Okay, so they have all the monies. The companies there have got fat balance sheet. They have got a lot of money to invest into R&Ds and all. So US will always get the best in the best technologies. Obviously, China is also doing it, but China is doing it in their own way. So China will all grow. But China also, there's a problem with China, that China is a very closed economy, and people don't trust a lot of world. There is a mistrust which China has to work on. But China also, it's very cheap. The price-earning ratio, I don't have the exact number, I'm just going to quote a number which I remember from my memory. The price-earning ratio of companies which is in China average was around 16, 17, while in India it is almost 27, 28. And the US is in the round of 2022. So China also is very cheap. Alibaba, I give you an example of Alibaba. It's a company which is a kind of a Flipkart and an Amazon, or Amazon of US. Amazon's market cap is $4 trillion. And if you compare Amazon versus Alibaba, so Alibaba is the Amazon of China, because it's a very closed economy. There's no Amazon, there's no global companies in China. It's basically, if anybody talks about e-commerce, it's Alibaba. They're available at a valuation of around $400 billion. I call it cheap, dirt cheap, compared to Amazon. Why should I buy Amazon? If I have to double my money, if I buy Amazon today, I'll give you a very simple maths. It's $4 trillion. So if I have to double my money, the market cap of Amazon has to become $8 trillion. So the maths, you can do the maths. It's not going to happen. Amazon might continue to grow, but my money, I have limited cash. I don't have unlimited cash. All of you in the room, if anybody has, where's Dikshit? Dikshit is the only one who has got unlimited cash. Apart from that, all of us has limited cash. So I want to use my cash, and I want to put it in a place where I can grow it faster than the others. That is how I'm going to grow my wealth. And that wealth creation will only happen when I'm picking the right country and the right companies. So these are the things. And obviously then the other factors comes, the right sectors and all the other things actually. So this is why I'm selling. The macroeconomics is very important. If you're putting your money, don't forget Indian. For people who don't know in Hindi, I'm going to repeat it in English. मैं कहता हूँ देश से बाहर रहिए, but देश को दूर मत रखिए. देश बहुत important है. So for people who don't understand Hindi, while we all are going to stay out of India for our various reasons when we respect it, but don't keep India out of your demat account or your investment portfolio, because India is going to always be very, very important in the next 10 years. So let's talk about a little bit of India, then I'm going to talk about US. So India's wealth, where is the wealth of India going? Obviously everybody knows about the GDP and the market cap and all. I'm not going to waste my time telling you that. But you see the AIFs, which is a new way of investing. The AIF, if people who don't know AIF is alternate investment funds, which is a new way of investing, where you pull in a large sum of money and invest into equities. Can be private equity, can be listed, unlisted, can be REITs, anything. But $175 billion actually was the AIF commitments. I'm talking commitments. Is the money which is ready to be deployed into multiple commitments. That's the capital which is going to go. If you see, for the first time, $75 billion has been raised in AIF. The total asset under management for AIFs is around $575 billion. That's huge. So what is happening is that the shift is happening in India. So this is why today's topic is alternate investments. So India is already changing, while some of you in the room may not be changing, but I'm telling you the professional people who are managing large assets, the family offices, the ultra HNIs, the VC funds, the hedge funds, they have those who are investing in India. They have already started to move their capital into alternate investments. While some of you, I have a question to people, how many people in the room currently do not invest in stock market? And okay, there's no shame in accepting that. I don't know. I started investing in stock market at the age of 33. I was an idiot. I should have done it at 21. I was very scared of my money. Absolutely fine, guys. We all come from a very humble background. My name is Jhunjhunwala, but I'm nowhere related to Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Okay, I wish. Somebody asked me, okay, there was a doctor, he said, are you related to Jhunjhunwala? I said, I wish. I'm okay if Rekha Jhunjhunwala accepts me as a son. I'll be a very good son. So you see, the fixed incomes, the listed, the normal bonds, the cash and cash equivalents, the direct equity. How many of you have invested in properties? How many of you have invested in properties? Dubai properties, all of you, huh? All of you. Safe hai, अच्छा है, 5%, 6% return मिल जाता है. My dear friend Ankur is not here, so I can actually use this word. Real estate is for the, I would say, the people who doesn't take risk. Equity is the people who wants to take risk. Real estate is a safe investment. दिख रहा है आपको यार. I mean, it's very easy. Equity is something which builds you wealth. So I'll give you an example. Elon Musk, we all know about Elon Musk. I don't need to tell you who is Elon Musk. But Elon Musk has not made money by actually buying a Tesla. He's made more money by building a company called Tesla. So if you see the total value of total profits which Tesla makes, and then the market cap of Tesla, I don't know, can anybody do a chat GPT? Should be around $2 trillion. I don't know the exact numbers. Elon Musk must be holding majority. There's one such company which is SpaceX, which I'm going to speak about. He's the first dollar trillionaire I'm talking about in the world. So it's all about investing. Investing is something which you need to take. The biggest risk, somebody talked in one of the slides I saw, this risk, that risk. I always say, which is the biggest risk in life? The biggest risk in life is not taking risk. Get into it, guys. You're a chartered accountant, all of you. Whenever I come to chartered accountant, I get goosebumps. You guys are such important people, balance sheet, P&L, it's like a cakewalk for all of you. Then when it comes to your personal wealth, why do you think so much? Just take a plunge. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा यार? जाएगा वापस, but जाएगा नहीं तो आएगा नहीं. It's very simple. You have to take a plunge. All of us I meet a lot of people and the people who I meet, the intellectuals and the people who are actually into industry, they're into, working for somebody, they are the most risk averse. सबसे ज़्यादा risk वाले लोग होते हैं जिनको कुछ पता ही नहीं है, वो ले लेते हैं. And we actually analyze and overanalyze and overanalyze and overanalyze, and then we don't invest. कुछ ना कुछ problem तो सब चीज़ों में है. मतलब आप किन से भागेंगे? When I invest into company, I look at two things, बंदा and धंधा. अगर बंदा अच्छा है और धंधा खराब है, I will put my money. और धंधा अच्छा है और बंदा खराब है, I'll not put a single dollar. Because I'll give you an example to all of you. It's a very important example. You look at Anil Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani actually had two sons. One is Mukesh Bhai Ambani, another is Anil Ambani. The wealth which is created by Reliance Industries is huge for India and for the shareholders. But if you go back 10 years ago, Mukesh Ambani got petroleum. It was a dead industry. While Anil Ambani got all the beautiful investments, the infra, the power, the telecom, which was the big things in India at that point of time. But he didn't know how to manage it. So my investment thesis is very different than the Shankar Sharma. Shankar Sharma was here as a dear friend. Others are there. I mean, with all due respect to each one of them, I don't look at all the other aspects. I look at the balance sheet and I look at the P&L and I look at the Dhanda. I look at the entry barrier. I invested into a company when I was an employee, like many of you in the room, back in 2008. A sizable portion of my wealth was invested into a company called National Stock Exchange. This company is going to come for an IPO. This year, it's going to be India's biggest IPO. I invested, and at that time, when I invested, the valuation of the company was approximately $4 billion. Today is going to be at $55, $60 billion valuation. I'm making 15x returns in rupee terms, 12, 13x return in dollar terms. I had that conviction because NSE is like an exchange which live and lose money. And I'll give you an example to explain you what was my investment thesis. My investment thesis was not Claude. There was no Claude, no AI at that point of time. Investment thesis was very simple. If I buy a stock for 100 rupees, NSE makes money. I sell that stock for 50 rupees. I lose 50 rupees, NSE still makes money. So दो ही लोग हैं हमारे इंडिया में जो हमेशा पैसा बनाएंगे. एक तो हमारे मोदी जी को मित्रों भाइयों बहनों बोल के देना पड़ेगा उनको, और दूसरा है स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. So exchanges never lose money. So after NSE, my biggest investment is NCDX, which I'm going to speak about it. So exchange is entry barrier, and also look at entry barrier. I was in one of the presentation and Ambani, Vinod Adani was there, and I told even the Adanis and the Ambanis, even with hundreds of $1 million, if they want to start an exchange, they cannot do it. Because India is a democratic country guided by the rules and regulations. It takes years and years to do the exchanges and all. So that's the story. So look for all these things around you. There are things around you, and then just invest. Don't think too much. The alternates, we all know unlisted pre-IPO is very close to my heart. Why I do not invest in AIF also, I will explain it to you. I invested in only 2 AIFs in the whole of my journey in my personal investing. I do not recommend people to do it. While I also have my own AIF, as Stockify also has their own AIF, but today I have not come to take something from my CA fraternity. CA is very close to my heart. Where is Ashna? Ashna is missing. CA says, you carry a lot of chip on your shoulder if you are CA. I say, yes, because CA has given me a lot of things. आज मैं कुछ लेने नहीं आया हूँ. I'm here to tell you my personal story and the journey. AIF is something which is, going to give you a return of 15-18%. I'm a risk taker. मेरे को नहीं अच्छा लगता 10-15%. I'm happy to lose money. If I want to make money, I want to make a multi-bagger return. In doing so, if I'm making some mistakes, I'm absolutely fine. Because I believe you just need 1 or 2 good stories. You don't need, all your investments will never do well. If anybody is telling you, that, all your investments will do well, he's actually fooling you. Couple of multi-baggers in your portfolio, you're done. You don't need, and others can do 4, 5, 10%, still your portfolio is doing 30-40%. You can do the maths, you're all chartered accountants. So, in my personal journey, unlisted pre-IPO is very important because it gives you an opportunity to directly invest. You become the shareholder of the company. While if it is an AIF, the AIF is the shareholder of the company. So if I want to invest into a market, I will rather become the shareholder of the company directly, not through a structured route of AIF. This is why I don't personally like it. The other products, which is on the screen, the PMSs and the private credits and the REITs and InvITs, VC and angel investing, it's also a great thing. If anybody from your friends in the family, the kids, the young kids who is coming with an idea and looking for an investment, fund them, because they are the future of the world. If you don't invest them, who's going to fund them? Because you know them very well. You know their capabilities. You know how hardworking that gentleman is. So that is how I invest. Unfortunately, I don't invest. The reason is the time which it takes to evaluate. I don't have the time, so I only take the companies which is in the pre-IPO stage, because I know there is a financials, there is a balance sheet, it's audited, the management, and there are enough information available in the public forum, so it is easier for me to invest. My personal money, I do invest, but for the clients, we do not invest. The reason being, it comes with a lot of accountability. And with the startups and all, I say it's a 2 in 100 stories. So it's a huge risk, which we don't want to take it for public money. We do it for private investments, not for public money. Traditional versus alternate assets. We all know, and I'm just going to talk about it. We all know how to invest into listed assets, and there's bonds, mutual funds, and all. So this side is not important. Anybody in the room, have they ever made more than 30% return in any mutual fund? Can I have some hands, please? 30% से ज़्यादा CAGR 5 साल consistently बना है किसी को mutual fund में? I want to see that hand. How many of the room invest in mutual fund? Okay, almost half the room. Okay, great. 30% से ज़्यादा return. Okay, let me flip this question. How many in the room has made 20% consistent return for the last 5 years? Okay, CAGR I'm talking about in mutual fund. There's no hand. Because, okay, there's one gentleman. He's an intelligent guy. Can I have a clap for this gentleman? Okay, each one of you, where to invest in, how to invest in mutual fund, he can be our coach. Because it is absolutely impossible. Because what does mutual fund does? They take a portfolio of 30, 40 companies, and then they try to hedge your risk. So none of the, as a mutual fund, if you're a fund manager, you'll see, they don't invest more than 5% in one company. So they are hedging your risk. So that is where the returns, the more risk averse you are, more the returns will go down. But if you're putting your entire money in one company, if that company works, your return is going to be higher. So that's the simple maths. Global US private equity, all of us is in Dubai. We earn in dollars and dirhams and then global currency. We should look at our investment in US dollar My humble request to all of the chartered accountants, never look at your return in the depreciating currencies like the INRs or in the Indonesian rupees or any other currency wherever you invest. Always look at your money in hard currency, which is a US dollar, which is the most stable currency. I would have said euro and GBP, but then Europe is a dead economy, and GBP also I don't trust with the issues which you have. So at this point of time, your US dollar is the most trusted investment dollar. So that is why we say that look at your investments always in dollar, and the returns also in dollar. So you should convert your returns in whatever currency or asset classes you're investing and look at it in dollars. So US private equity is very, very mature, and you can see it from the numbers. You know, the numbers here is huge. The US private equity market is $20 trillion. So $75 trillion is the total market cap of all the companies which are listed in US, and out of that $20 trillion is the unlisted, or let's call it private equity. Blackstone. How many of you don't know Blackstone? Please go and do some research about Blackstone. Blackstone probably owns all the important assets. Every assets or every private equity which is there, all the good companies, Blackstone would be there somewhere. I would say 5 out of 10, you know, if I'm not wrong, will have an investment in Blackstone. Blackstone alone is $1 trillion in private equity. They don't invest into listed. They exit. People like the retail class comes in once it is listed. So all these venture capital, you know what, the whole idea of Stockify came into it, because when I wanted to buy good quality assets, it was not available to me. They say, oh, the minimum ticket is $1 million. So if I don't have $1 million, can I not invest? Why am I being treated so unfairly versus all these people who have got the money? Today I'm not treated unfairly because I have money, but there was a time. So this is how the idea of Stockify came in. We are actually allowing people to invest with 25,000 rupees, which is like a meal. You know, yesterday I was with Kunal. I don't know whether he's reached here or not. Kunal is a very good friend. He's in Z business all the time. I was in a Michelin star restaurant and we spent 25,000 rupees for a meal. But there are millions of people in India who cannot afford it. So that is how the idea came, and I said we will allow people to invest. So today, I can proudly say at Stockify, 2,000 retail investors has invested into NSE shares. They are the proud shareholders of NSE, and they will make a lot of money when NSE comes into listing. So it is not with the big boys alone, not the, you know, the Black Rocks and all. So that is how we are trying to help India and our Indian fraternity, you know, both outside and in India, to get to them to the right stocks. So this is the US private equity, you know, the leverage buyout boom was there, then the institutionalization happened, the cheap money was there, and now it is coming to maturity level. You know, we all know how the private equity in US works, and I'll tell you again, I'm very Indian. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying that. In India, if you want to buy a private equity, you become the shareholder and the shares are in your demat account. That means the custody of the assets in your account. So you might be buying from us, but you become the ultimate shareholder. But in US, if you see, it is through a GP structure and LP structure. There is no custody. Somebody else is a custodian of your asset. And imagine that fund which you have invested goes bust. You're done. You know, your money will not come back. So that is the beauty of investing in private equity in India, and we must appreciate our government. Today, if you're opening a company, it becomes an electronic company. Stockify shares are dematted shares. Okay, so that is the beauty of India, and this market is going to go manifold in India. I know I'm short of time. I'll just take another minute to finish. US private equity, we all know, there are 32,000 portfolios companies, you know, worth $3.8 trillion. Look at the average size they're holding, average years, 7 years. So money will not come overnight. If anybody wants to become a millionaire, I have a simple solution. There is a Dubai Millennial Draw. Wo khareed lo, aap millionaire ban jaoge. There is 1 in 50,000 chance. But if you want to make money the right way, you have to have patience. It doesn't come overnight, and you have to invest in right companies. And I'm going to stop this. I'm not going to show all these things. You all know, you're intelligent people. These are the category 1 AIF and all those things. One important thing in terms of AIFs, how it is growing. Yeah, so sorry. One second. How do you go back? Sorry. Yeah, so from a chartered accountant point of view, there are 4 things which you can do in any business. One is the advisor, second is a valuer, third is a structurer and investor. I'm on the last. I don't want to be doing the work which everybody is doing. I always want to be an investor. Even with whatever money I have, I'm not a billionaire, but whatever money I have, I want to be an investor. I want to make, my money should make me money. When I sleep, I should make money on my sleep. If I'm not making money on my sleep, there is something which I'm not doing right. This is what I tell myself every day. And that is what I will tell everybody in this room, to think like this. Your money should make you money. Whatever you're working, wherever you're working, good luck to all of you. You know, you're only going to take care of your families. But your wealth would be created from your investments. You can ask anybody who has created wealth. You know, salary se wealth nahi bana hai boss. If anybody has made wealth from salary, you know, good luck to that person and salute to that person. Last thing which I forgot to tell you. SpaceX. How many people in the room invested in SpaceX? None. You know, see, I told you he's a billionaire. You were out actually, you know. He's got the money. He's the man with the money, you know. So, if you have invested into SpaceX, in January 2023, the valuation was $137 billion. It got listed at $2 trillion valuation. No. So let's say if you invested in January, and you invested in December 2025, it was at $800 billion. So still your money is growing 3 times. It went up to 3 trillion. Today it must be settled at $2 trillion. So finding these companies are very, it's around you. The SpaceX opportunity has been flying around in the DIFC and for last 3-4 years. But nobody thought about it. There are some intelligent people who I know. I'm not that intelligent people, guys, sorry. There is one person who's in the room and there are many others which I know. They have made tons of money. I know a person who has made 13 times in last 3 years by investing in SpaceX, and he doesn't want to exit. It is the only company which has got 1,000, private company, 1,000 satellites, okay, across. They're going to be the biggest company. I don't think so anybody can come near to that SpaceX company in the next 5 years. That is why the valuation of $2 trillion. If you look at the financials, it doesn't justify the valuation. But then it's all about the futuristic part of it. So that's it from my side. I know I'm exactly on time. So, Rishi bhai, thank you very much. One second.
Thank you, Piyush bhai. Every time you come on the stage, you always give a thought which is so good that you feel like investing now. I hope I get that $1 million soon to invest. To felicitate him, I would like to invite our chairman and ExCom, Dikshit Jain, along with 2 members, Srinivas Achar and Avril. Please join us on stage to felicitate our fellow member. Please give him a very big round of applause. When it comes to wealth, we all remember Jhunjhunwala. But I think today we have a Jhunjhunwala for health as well. In fact, she is a yoga instructor. When you hear the word yoga instructor, you must be thinking some elderly lady is coming. But no, she's just 8 years old. She's 8 years old and a world record holder for the youngest yoga instructor. So I would like to invite Anisha Jhunjhunwala. Please give him a very big round of applause. She will perform for 5 minutes for us.
I'm Anisha. Yoga is a lifestyle for our mental and our physical well-being. To begin with today's session, let's start with an invocation prayer. Sit down in any comfortable position, Sukhasana, Padmasana, or Vajrasana. Fold your hands and say this prayer with me. Om Sehna Vavatu Sehno Bhunattu Sehviryam Kalvavahai Tejasvina तद्विषावहै. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now, let's do Surya Namaskar. This was Surya Namaskar. Every morning of mine starts with Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar is a series of 7 simple poses with 5 of them repeated twice. Surya Namaskar is a wonderful way to improve concentration, reduce stress and anxiety, and bring positive energy for the rest of the day. Just a few minutes in the morning can help you stay fresh and active for the entire day. I hope you will try it tomorrow morning. Now, let's conclude today's session with a peace prayer. Fold your hands and chant after me in your head. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Prashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhava Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Amazing. Please, I would like to call our chairman to felicitate her. And our former chairman, Navinji, please join us. Please give, I think she really deserves a very big round of applause at this age. Her voice was so soothing. If you close your eyes, one reached.
हो 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 सांसों की जरूरत है जैसे सांसों की जरूरत है जैसे जिंदगी के लिए बस एक सनम चाहिए I know, my voice is not as melodious as it has to be, but I'm giving you guarantee the next session going to be memorable for everyone. To make it a memorable event, we need to have the memorable moderator for the next session. So can you guess me who can be that person who will do the talk and moderation with Anu Agrawal? Ashna. Why you said Ashna? Yes, I think guessed it right, guys. Someone who brings the warmth to the stage, her professionalism, and the important point is her infectious smiles. So please give a thunderous round of applause. One and only, the Byron personality of ICI Dubai chapter, Secretary Ashna Mulgakar. Thank you, Ashna.
I'll take it.
Now, it's time to invite the MK brand. Who knows who is that person? the MK brand of ICA Dubai chapter, a passionate leader, a technology enthusiast, someone who always bring innovation. And I think last time who experienced the IGT, ICI Got Talent, that was his brainchild. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome very our own Mahendra Khiani to introduce our esteemed guest, Dr. Anu Agrawal. Mahendra, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sanjay bhai. Good evening, ICA Dubai. Now, throughout this evening, we have all spoken about wealth. And our next speaker is coming in to speak about something which no amount of portfolio can buy. Can you guess that what it is? Absolutely. It's our health and it's the peace of mind. And here is something that not many of us would know about her. Before she was even a film actress, she was one of the India's first supermodel, one of the gold medalists from the Delhi University who had walked runways across the world, and someone who happily celebrated to be the dusky skin in an era which was highly obsessed with fair complexions. And then in the year 1990, the movie came, the movie Ashiki, the song which was sung by Sanjay bhai, and she was the face of the movie Ashiki. Don't remember Sanjay bhai's face. She was the face of Ashiki. And she became the heartbeat of an entire generation and a love story that our country still hums on. But at the very peak of her career, in 1999, she met a devastating car accident that put her in coma for almost 29 days. When she woke up with a broken body, a partial paralysis, and piece of her memory simply gone. Doctors weren't even sure that would she be able to walk again. But she didn't just walk again, she rose. She turned to yoga and meditation not as a form of exercise, but to find her way back to life itself. She has even wrote about it in her book, and the name itself says everything. Unusual memoir of a girl who came back from the day. Today, she's a yoga mentor, she's a wellness teacher, and through her foundation, she brings the healing power of yoga to orphans, to children fighting illness, and to those in the world who have often been forgotten. She is the living proof that truest wealth is actually our health, and that human spirit can rebuild almost anything. So, please welcome who came back from dead to teach rest of us how to live, Dr. Anu Agrawal.
And I will also request the technical team to play the video.
क्या चलेगा आशिकी का सॉन्ग आ रहा है मैं गाता हूँ
मैं सब कुछ लुटा दूंगा तेरी चाहत में ओ दुश्मन जमाना मुझे ना भुलाना मैं खुद को मिटा दूंगा तेरी चाहत में
जानी जिगर जानी मन मुझको है तेरी कसम तू जो मुझे ना मिला मर जाऊंगी मैं सनम
तूने भी बेशक मुझको कितना तड़पाया फिर भी तेरी हर एक अदा पे
Amazing, amazing. It just took us back to the 90s, isn't it? But I do have a complaint, Sanjay bhai. You sang a song for her, you missed out mine. Next time, you need to sing a song for both the ladies. Yes, with that, Anuji, millions knew you as the face of Ashiki. Still, Ashiki 1, 2, 3. But when it's the word Ashiki, all that remains in our mind is Anu Agarwal and that infectious smile that you brought about. It was a cultural phenomenon that time, a young woman with her own dreams and ambitions. When you look back at that phase of your life, what did fame teach you and what it did not teach you?
Thank you so much, first of all, for all the compliments you have given me. And I just want to, first of all, before I answer any question, I just want to say namaste and hello to everybody who is here today, and thank you so much. Now to answer your question, fame, well, fame came with wealth, and you've been talking about wealth. And yes, wealth and health, yes. So my entire life, actually, has been how to find the balance between the wealth and the health. And had it not been for wealth, earning, I wouldn't be here today. So let us not put down the wealth, right? And health and fame, I would say they both have changed my life. And how you change your life eventually is up to you and to each one of us. And that's what I'm going to be talking today.
That is such a lovely thought. Yes, changing life is in one's hand only. Going back to those 90s days, would you like to describe your journey to us and tell us a little about your story? From Anu, that Anu, to today's Anu.
Oh God, so many thoughts come to me. First of all, I would say it was a very difficult time. And that is not talked about. Press doesn't talk about that. Press talks about the juicy things which people want to read. They think people want to read. And maybe I haven't said a lot as well. But I was alone. I was in my early 20s. And the film industry, their idea of wealth and how to manage it was completely disagreeable to me. Under the table cash, Dawood was ruling at that time. My first, after Ashiki, you can imagine there were like hundreds and thousands of people wanting to sign me up. मेरे घर के बाहर भीड़ लग गई थी, right? And these guys would come, so many guys, with suitcases full of cash. So they'd ring my bell. I was living alone. I had no servant living with me either. I'd open the door. Madam, madam. Suitcase opened. And I'm looking at it like all this cash. I'm like, ठीक है, please. Band kijiye, I mean. And then I would ask them that. I say, film की script? नहीं, आप sign कर लीजिए फिर. Script बनती रहेगी, madam. And I said, oh God. Then I said, okay. Then I said, look, cash नहीं, मैं white में मेरा payment होगा. Because I come back from a services background. My father is an economist. My brother is a chartered accountant like all of you. I belong to that kind of family, right? So I said, look, I'm not. And so it was very difficult because they'd say, पैसे को कैसे मना कर सकती है? पागल है, पागल. And then someone says, अरे, she's too arrogant. She thinks no end of herself. That's why she just says no to money. अरे, they are not understanding that this way of money, I'm not saying no to money. I'm saying no to this cash money. And so, yeah, so there were so many different things that were very difficult. And living alone and managing life was so difficult. But I think that the love and the appreciation that I got from millions of fans around the world. My house got so full of letters because of those times, those days, there was no social media. And people used to write chitti aati thi, right? Letters. And there were so many letters, there was no place in my house to even for me to sit because there were so many letters. So, but that appreciation and that role in Ashiki gave me so much love and joy from other people, and that's what kept me going, yeah.
By saying you don't accept cash, you actually brought that thought back to us. We are chartered accountants, and your integrity was everything, even in those times of fame.
Right.
So she's coming from those roots. Coming from those roots, would you like to tell us, how did you get the first offer for this movie?
I was actually modeling in Paris, and Mahesh Bhatt had read some of my interviews, because I was also, as a supermodel, I was one of the first models who was actually interviewed by magazines, and I was already on their covers, and I was already flying business class. My first ticket was economy, and it got shifted to business class by the second modeling assignment in London. Anyway, so Mahesh Bhatt read some interviews and formed a story. And I came back from Paris and he called me.
Amazing. So just on the flight, that is what you got your
I came
first
back,
offer.
yeah. He was looking for me and waiting for me. And the day I came, Yash Chopra's office called. I didn't know who it was. I thought, Delhi ka koi Chopra, father's friend, you know. So I called up my father and I said, Papa, aapka koi friend Yash Chopra ka phone. He said, what? Are you mad? Yash Chopra film? So I said, oh yeah, shit, no, I didn't remember. Yeah, right. So yeah, he called, and then the same day they were waiting. The film industry was just waiting for me. That's amazing. I think it was because I got chosen for Schweppes Indian Tonic model in Paris in 1989, and so I was in the news there in Paris, and I was in part of the magazines and stuff. And I think people in India got to hear, and I think all the filmmakers started looking for me. I had no idea. I was not interested in doing movies, so I had no idea.
Amazing. In '89, I was crawling in my house, and that time you were walking to the Paris ramp. Opportunity comes anytime. That is what we can learn from your conversations today. After this fame, something tragic happened, and you went into 29 days of coma. When you actually opened your eyes, do you recollect that moment of your life?
I want to clear something here, because the press has just taken, this is wrong news, which says that I went into yoga after my accident. I left movies when I was on the roaring top in 1995. I have done my last film in 1994, which opened in 1995 at the Cannes Film Festival. It appeared there. And I'm out after that, 96 and 97. I went into Bihar School of Yoga in 97. In 96, I started getting into, what else I'm going to do, because I knew that I had grown to the maximum in that industry, and I was looking for growth. I've always been into innovation, and I said, what more? I'm already, and so that's how yoga came. And I thought yoga was something that, so let me tell you this, I must tell you this, it's very interesting. I read an article at that time, 95 or something, which said that we have 100% potential, but a normal human being does not use more than 2%. And I thought, oh God, really? How? And so I'm such a famous and such a big person and all that stuff. So how much percentage am I using of my mind? So shit, 3% at least, if everyone's using 2, right? And then I said, no, I want to use at least 10. At least 10. How do I? And they said, and that's what I went for. I applied for yoga, and the first day it was interviews and all that, and they asked me, "Why are you joining yoga? You're such a big film star." And I said, because I believe that yoga can help me maximize my potential. I want to use all 100. And they just looked at me and said, okay. So that was really why I went into yoga in 1997. Bihar School of Yoga was the only international yoga university in India. And also, on the same hand, it was run by a Spanish person, and this Guruji was, half Spanish, and, it was different. It was very international. And it was in Bihar. My mother said, "Are you going to Bihar? It's so unsafe," and all that. Bihar ja rahi ho. And I said, "Mom, it's not like that." So I went, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful campus, Bihar School of Yoga. Beautiful, gorgeous, by the Ganges. So I lived by the Ganga, and then I never wanted to come back here. I never wanted. And then when I came back to pack up, 99, 2 years later I came back, only to pack up. And that's when I had my accident. And that accident was actually amazing because it's like you study theories, right, of everything. You study theories, you memorize, you may top. I was always, I topped the university, topped the school, but at the end of the day, you haven't experienced it. And that's what this accident did, because the doctor said she's not going to survive. After the coma, when I came out of the hospital, they had to put me on a wheelchair. I had no consciousness of my body at all. I was like a child, like it's a new birth. So nobody could do anything. They said, doctor says she's amnesic, she doesn't remember her past. No memory, no this, body is broken, mind is broken. I had a skull fracture, and I had a brain bleed, apart from various multiple fractures, 6 fractures just from face down to collarbone. They said, she's not 50-50 chance that she will even survive 3 years. In the first year, now she should be going, we are very sad to say she'll go. And I just knew it. I just knew. So then I started to make a program for myself for healing, because I had studied how to make these programs for single people. And I started to make that program, and for my mind, for my body, and that's how I have healed. So for me, everything I tell you guys is experiential, 100%. But theory, of course, I've studied. I love academia. I've always loved research. So this entire, now that the program that I have made, Anu Fun Yoga, which is basically yoga is life. And yoga is happiness, yoga brings you joy. And yoga actually maximizes each one's potential. So, yeah, I'll be talking, I still have to talk.
It happens. I mean, at that moment, your willpower is what got you back to what you are today.
I don't think willpower. I think, this is a very human concept. This is a very, intelligent mind's concept to say, I have the will to do this, I have the willpower. No. There is a bigger force working around us, and each and every thought and action that we do in a day is actually carving our destiny and is working for the entire bigger force. So it's not just your willpower, it is what they call karma. What is karma? Karma is basically your action, whatever actions you have done, including the thoughts that you've had, they form, it's like forming a chain of events, and that, it could be good, there is good karma, there's bad karma. And when you have bad karma, man, no damn willpower will work. Because if you've done bad deeds, if you've hurt people, you've harmed people, you've stolen from them, even in business, you are chartered accountants. Every day you're dealing with money, right? Money is a very delicate thing to handle. And there are so many times we all go through these questions. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Right?
Your soul tells you what is right and what is wrong.
So we are building our own destiny. And then we say, oh God, ye ho gaya. But the thing is that we've built it up. This accident for me, I wanted it. I wanted this accident because this is the only way quickly I could have the awakening. Otherwise, I could have worked slowly and, I was a big star and everybody knows me. That's not enough. How much can it help you at the end of the day? At the end of the day, you go back to your house, you're alone in your bed when you go to sleep. You could have people around you. But when you close your eyes, the last thoughts that you have are singular, are your own thoughts. And one of the practices which I can show you also later is the thoughts to have the last bit when you go to sleep. When you're just about to close your eyes, now you're sleeping. The last thoughts, just 3 thoughts. And then in the morning when you wake up, the first thing in the morning, we say like, phone dekho, niklo, chalo, jaldi karo, meeting hai, No. First thing you wake up and 3 thoughts changes your life. It changed my life. I started it when I started yoga. So anyway, go on.
Wow, amazing. I'm spellbound by listening to you and your story. Amazing. Imagine about karma that she's talking about. Every thought of hers, she's not given up, nor she's living in her past. She's come up from something which is very tragic, something which has gone beyond and changed her entire life. I would say, what revived your entire journey? What was that thought that was coming to your mind back and then? What would your other options be? Like now film industry
There were
is
no
not
options.
there.
There were no options. I knew I will be well. And when from deep down, any deal you're doing, anything you're doing, from deep down, if you have, this will happen, ye hoke rahega. But on the same hand, to have the thought, if it doesn't happen, that's also okay. And that's the thought I had. That, okay, fine, if I'm paralyzed, okay, my foot doesn't move. Like my first asana was like toe bending. I couldn't bend my toe because leg was paralyzed. I didn't know what paralysis meant. So I was like, why is it not moving? Left is moving, right is not moving. So how funny is that? So okay, fine, now, okay. I kept on doing 1 month, I practiced. And then the toe flickered. But because all along, I was okay if I didn't get well. So, okay, this is a great thought. When you have that you're doing a deal and you say, this will happen, this has to happen, that. But then you also somewhere at the back of your mind have the thought, if it doesn't happen, I'm fine with it.
Who else will believe more than us chartered accountants? One after another attempt, we believe that we will be CA one day. That is what it is. She believed in herself that she will be back in action. And that is what it is today. If you had to give an advice to the young Anu that time, want to change one thing in your life, those days when people would surround you with suitcases of cash and offer you, what would that one advice be today after you have matured enough? Is there anything that you would like to change in that young
Yes.
Anu, which would be a message
Yes.
to all the youngsters here?
I would say to the young Anu, wow. I would really say wow. And I would say that, you, despite everything, despite what the world was. I mean, the world was not like what it looks like today, 35 years ago, right? People who are here today cannot, the younger generation, they cannot even imagine what it was like for a girl even to be alone in a room for months and live alone. How every little thing, and then still to make the saying no to money. When I had to pay rent, I was looking after myself, I was supporting me. So for me, money was money, money was life at that time. But still having the principles and saying, this isn't right. Be transparent. What is this under the deals? What is this table ke niche ke deal? Be transparent. Upar karo kaam. Jo karna hai, upar se karo. Right? You want to give me cash? Then show. Then announce you're giving cash. Don't say that, अच्छा ठीक है, आपको तो सिर्फ हमने जो है 100 रुपए की जगह आप बताएंगे कि 10 रुपए दिए. Then you will show that 10 रुपए in your tax. And one of the things my father taught me is that, listen, you pay tax if you earn, because eventually that tax is, but of course, there's so many things attached to that because there's so much corruption that we're living in India. Everybody knows that. How is it over here? I would really love to know. There's so many Indians who live here, and I wonder how life is different if you live in Dubai.
Tax-free country.
Huh?
We are tax-free country in terms of personal tax. It's
Yeah.
recently that we have introduced corporate tax here.
Right.
But otherwise, there's no tax on the personal income here.
There isn't, right?
There
yeah,
isn't.
I heard that, yeah.
Yes. Would anybody want to ask her a question? One question. Yes, sir.
I would like to know that there are two most important things which we did, our Indians like. One is Bollywood, and second is yoga, or we can say health. And you excelled in both the careers. In spite of 35 years, if you listen the song of Ashiki, even I can sing almost all the songs. And second is the yoga, two different career. Which one is you give the first choice, giving you a chance to relive your life? If you go back in 1990, and would you like to become a yogini? Or you would like to have a career of Bollywood? Or whatever happened is happened for the good?
I have realized in life that everything is possible if you understand the limits in each, and if you can divide your time and discipline yourself. So yoga has taught me discipline, which says that whatever you do it to the fullest. And which is, I have started hearing scripts now after 30 years, because I walked out in 95 and I was like, bye, don't come to me, I'm not available. But I've just started hearing script 3 months ago because I have excelled myself so much in yoga that I've come to a point where I know that I can balance myself in both. And I think that what you're asking is like something that for each one of us, sometimes that question comes, should I focus on this or should I focus more on this? Should I focus more on family or, I'm ignoring them because I'm working so much? These kind of questions, they're very normal. Most people have them. But the answer to each is to have a light, peaceful life. We all want peace, right? Who doesn't want peace? Tell me, raise hand one person who doesn't want peace. But the point is that are we feeling incomplete without peace? Are we feeling incomplete without money, Are we feeling incomplete without achievement? Are we feeling incomplete without success? That is the big question. And in fact, the mantra that little girl, Jhunjhunwala, she chanted, you know what the basic mantra, the meaning of that mantra is in one line? You are whole. And yoga taught me this, that why does anybody feel incomplete? Why do you feel, oh, I'll have that much money, then I'll be complete. I'll buy that kind of car, I'll have that kind of house, I'll be complete. It's all false. Because that completion never comes. The more you have, the more you want. And this I know, one of the reasons I left films, because I understood this question. Because how much more do I want? I was earning more than anybody else at that time. I was earning more than the guys who were in that much time, 2 years, 3 years. Forget my age, guys. They are out of the question. I'm talking generally. I'm talking internationally. I was doing, OA MTV. I launched MTV in India. I was working with the head office of MTV in Hong Kong. And with John, who was an English guy who was the head of MTV at that time. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, we just need to be silent. And all the answers are there. There's nothing, all the questions we have in our heads, oh God, this, oh God, that. Why is that one doing this? Why is this one doing this? Usko itna mil gaya, mujhe itna nahi mil gaya. Maine kya kiya hai jo mere aisa, But at the end of the day, you have it. Why are you feeling incomplete? And that is the question of yoga. The yoga that I'm talking about is yoga beyond the mat. We're not talking about mat and yoga. No, I'm not talking about asana and pranayam, mudra, bandha. These are the 4 things which yoga actually has. People don't even know mudra, bandha here in the cities, big cities. People just know asana, pranayam because that's what yoga is. No. It's like saying, in Tantra. Have you heard of Tantra? Who has heard of Tantra? Tantra today, actually it's not Tantra, it's Tantra in Sanskrit. Tantra, mantra, yantra. Tantra, we only understand is tantric sex. In the West, when I go, people say, oh, Tantra, tantric sex. Come on. Tantric sex is there in Tantra, but more than that, there are so many. Tantra has about 65 to 68 practices, and out of which one is sex. There's also tree worship. We know that. We see ladies worshipping trees. That's tantric. That's a tantric practice. Nobody says it's tantric, because tantra has become a bad word. Oh, tantra, no. But it comes, this is our background, and each one of us, are they all Indians here, or there are some other countries also?
No, I see India.
All Indians?
Yes.
Each one of us, and this is something I have realized because, by the way, I have worked internationally so much, and India was so difficult to work with because of my ideologies, which are very firm and straight, clear. And I didn't like the corruption, and I didn't like this, like the films that we were talking about. And I had offers. I had offers to work. I had offered to model in Paris, and an agency wanted me there. They said, you are a special look, and I was like, wow, what a special. I'm normal. No, you're special. Okay, fine. So they want to give me a job, and I was getting jobs all over the world. And I'm telling you, honestly, I was tempted because I didn't like the way things were working in India. They weren't They weren't straightforward. They weren't clear. They weren't. But still, I came back to India each time. And I think through seeing the world, living everywhere, working, earning, that time, there were no euros. I earned in French francs and I earned in pounds, right? There were no euros at that time. And in as much proud as I was to earn that, that money with my work at that time through modeling. Modeling wasn't something I was too proud of, but anyway, I did. And so I met all kinds of top people everywhere. And I'll tell you something. The base that we have, the Indians have, the heart that inside us that we have, nobody in the world has. We actually basically have compassion without saying it. Without saying it. I trained as a social worker. I did my master's in social work, and that's why, today I finally have a foundation. Social work was my dream. Movies wasn't, acting wasn't. I was already an actor, but what I'm saying is that even if you go to like Jhopadpatti mein na, aap jayenge na, that woman will still, she doesn't have tea in the house, she doesn't have a kettle, she doesn't have, kaiyon ke yahan to chulha bhi nahi hai. Aise gharon mein main gayi hu. But when she sees you, she will smile. She will run. From the neighbor, she will get a, चाय कहीं से ली, पत्ती कहीं से ली, दूध कहीं से दूसरे नेबर से लिया, कुछ, and she will make you tea and give you tea. I have not seen this anywhere in the world.
Anu, hi. Rishi this side.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? You're doing well. I really love to hear you always. One question which you just said about the suffering you had that, and the beautiful part which you said, which I really got to inspire today, is it's all right. Like you said, I was trying to move my toe, it was not moving, but I was not depressed. I said, it's all right. If it works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, it doesn't. So that kind of thought process is hard to get, honestly, for a normal human being. How did you get it? Share it with us.
Oh, that's such an honest question, and that is so right. I didn't have it also. How that came is basically by calming the mind first and by understanding that I am enough. So this started coming when, the money that I had earned from films and modeling, and I was the first brand ambassador in India. So I earned a lot and I charged a lot. When I could charge, I charged a lot. And all the money I had invested, right? In 95, invested. I've got a pool now, I can go and take a holiday and, learn yoga or do something. But when I went, right? And when first of all, I understood that the entire life is tapasya. You got to see the entire life as tapasya, as a prayer. Your body is your temple. You have to pray to it every day. And that's what Surya Namaskar is, what she did. What is Surya Namaskar? Do you know the basic history of Surya Namaskar? Surya Namaskar actually came up. Okay, so you all know the history of Earth, how it began, and there was only water, right? And when human beings came, there was more water than land. And there was no sun. There was darkness all around. And then they started singing songs. So there are Surya mantras. They started singing Surya songs praying. They're not Surya, it was not called Surya then. And they started praying to the god of what could be sun to come and give us basically the god of light. That's what Surya is. Surya is your god of love and vitality, because the energy of sun gives you movement. So, coming to your question, what you said, and so you start to understand what the real things in life actually are. So what I'm saying right now, I didn't study it in university. I mean, this is one of the first things that shocked me when I went for yoga, because suddenly chakras, I'm like, oh God, yeah, I think I've heard of it somewhere. Chakras are inside me. Oh, where are they? Shit, I didn't know they were there. Okay, so chakras, acha ye chakras ye rotate ho rahe hain, you know, this energy is rotating. Which energy are you talking about? I understand that I'm fitting into, you know, Gucci dress and I understand the fashion. What? So we are so far away from our own machinery of our own body. And once you start to understand that, then if the body dies, what the hell? If I achieve something or don't achieve it, what the hell? I am still happy. Now that is a state which comes with my entire thing of making this whole thing of Anuphan Yoga now is to just bring that exactly what you're saying. For people to get into a state where they start saying that yoga is not 1 hour a day. Yoga is 23 hours of the day. And what is really yoga? Yoga is, like I said, it's like beyond the mat. Each and every thought, is holistic. What is holistic? Holistic means that everything you do in a day, from the morning you get up, one thought, oh, I hate that guy. Hello, please, focus. Because at the end of the day, who are you hating? When you hate somebody, you're actually hating a part of yourself. So, this will go on.
Amazing, amazing. Anuji, most of the people are very successful here, but still searching for that balance, peace, and purpose. If you could leave them with one thought to carry home tonight, what it would be?
I am enough. I am enough, that thought. You know, I just want to, there is also, since you have asked this question, you know, there's also, you know, so there are many mantras in Sanskrit. As Yalakshi chanted a couple of mantras. Now, there is the mantra that brings the dead back to life, and which it has done to me, because I was chanting, I chanted, and it was chanted for me. So, would you like to hear it and experience it? Yeah? Okay, cool. In that case, everybody just straight. Everyone sit straight, yeah? Straight, like straight. Feet are straight. Both your feet are on the same level on the floor. Not heavy and light, not aage piche, right? Your back, just see that your hip, just put your hip back and straighten put your hip back and straighten your back. And then release any tension that just relax it. Take a deep breath. Everyone, 3 breaths. Open your mouth, breathe. Everyone, I can't hear anyone doing it. Come on. Correct. This has already relaxed your body a lot. Now, your hands are going to be on your thighs. Okay, so you can keep them in your thighs. Yeah? And relax your body. Close your eyes. If you're wearing glasses, just can you please take them off? It'll be, I mean, you don't have to, but it'll be better for your practice into here. Relax your eyes. And relax your mouth. Breathe normally. If you feel that your breath is stuck, just take a deep breath. I'm going to chant the mantra. And mantras are basically just invocations and sounds. So even if you don't understand what the words mean, it's okay. But the sound vibrates in your body and your mind, so just hear it. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukumiv Bandhanat Mrityor Mokshimamritat Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Everyone bring your hands together, don't open your eyes. Rub your palms, produce heat in your hands and put them on your closed eyelids. We'll do it 3 times. Rub the hands. Third time. Take another deep breath. Slowly, when you open your eyes, you should look down first. Never look up straight into the light because it hurts your eyes. The practice you just did regulates the aqueous humor in your eyes, and you can do it at any time. When you're working, feel that your eyes are a little tired or you feel tired, just take your glasses off you're wearing, do this 3 times, and it's a great help. So,
amazing. What she said today and what we can take away today is, I am enough. Can we all chant this together? I am enough.
I am enough. Come on, everybody get up and raise hands. I am enough. Okay, now there's another practice, another yogic practice you can do whilst you do this. So everyone put their hand on their stomach, yeah? And say to yourself mentally, I am enough. I am enough. Bring it to your heart. I am enough. Now, you're spreading it to the world. I am enough. Now, speak it out loud, okay? So come on, let's do it. We'll do it 3 times. I am enough inside you. In your chest, your heart, I am enough. I am enough. Great. One more time. Come on. I am enough. And keep breathing alongside. Huh? I am enough. I am enough. Very good. I'm so glad. Eruptive. I can't hear you. Sorry.
I have, yes.
Just give him the mic, no?
He's saying 3 thoughts before sleeping and after sleep,
Ha.
after
Yeah.
waking up.
Perfect.
What are the 3
Oh, what are the three things? Okay, cool. So you want, okay, okay. So this is another 5 minutes then. You will have to practice it with me. So first, let me explain what it is. So we have started, so everything you are doing in a day, yeah, like I said, it creates, everything is energy. It's creating an energy field, right? So for instance, when you do a kind deed, yeah, somebody needs something and you, without expecting anything in return, which is called karma yoga, yeah, you go and give that person that, or smile at him, even hear him out, whatever, something nice. He feels good, and that, I call it a shimmer. It creates a shimmer. It lights up something inside him, and also lights up something inside you because you've given it, right? So you feel good. Similarly, in a day, right? When you're going through, so there's so many things that happen in a day. Some are happy things, some are not so happy at all. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like you're working and some guys are not good. What do you do about that? Right? So, but there are some things. So maybe a day is a very hard day. You know, it's a lot of horrible things have happened today. Things you expected didn't happen. People cheated you or shouted at you or, you know, whatever. Or you lost something or you lost a share or your investment. Anyway, but there are certain small things that may happen in the day. And in everyone's life, now this is very important to know, in everyone's life, every day, there are at least 3 things that were nice, that made you feel good, that made you feel happy in a certain way, whether it was you gave or somebody gave you something. A simple thing for a child, his mother made a cake, his favorite cake. It made him happy. You know, simple things, small things. I call them shimmers. And I try and every day have one shimmer in my life because the way you do the shimmer, it brings not only joy, but it brings the next day betterment for you. Now, what are the 3 practices you will do? Okay, now you can close your eyes. I will tell you the three things you will be doing at night. So let's say the whole day is gone and you're sitting in bed. Just like sit down, relax yourself. Very important, every time just relax your body a little bit and breathe, you know. You can do the thing, you know, and shut your eyes. And now think of 3 things that happened today that made you happy, which were the shimmers. Think, each one of you can close your eyes, think. So a lot of thoughts will come about things that were not good. It's okay, just reject them. Just focus on the good ones that made you happy, that made you smile. And any one of you who can think of 3 things, just raise your hand so I know how many people have found out. 3 shimmers in a day. We call it shimmers. Shimmer. Great. What about the people at the back? I mean, you guys are too distant, yeah. I can't see you only. You can hear me, right? What happened? None of you are raising any hands or anything. Nobody had any shimmers. You had a shimmer. Okay, the lady in the yellow sari. No, not what color is it? Red, orange. Anybody else had a shimmer? Great. Okay. Okay, would anybody like to talk about the shimmers they had today? I mean, you don't have to. If anybody would, it would be nice. It would help others also. Yeah, please, go ahead. Give a mic, please.
Namaste, madam. First of all,
Namaste.
thank you for sharing wonderful practices we should follow to live life. Life is a journey. Enjoy it, live with peace, satisfaction, and acceptance. Okay. The Kshama which I do every day in the morning, I thank Almighty for the waking my eyes again. I thank nature, and I thank my all forefathers. And I say, I will accept everything what comes to me.
Nice. Very nice. Good. Nice. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Anybody else?
Hello, Anu. I'm actually doing yoga every day. So right now, what 3 Shiva I got here, because I was happy to reach here by 4:30, which was the time to start this. And the most happiness I got when my friend, she got me a cup of tea, which was not available when I went outside. So that was another happiness I got. And one more happiness I got when I saw Ashna, like, when she was saying that, she was crawling when you were acting in 1990.
All right. Thanks.
So
Great.
that's where, I
Lovely.
get.
Good evening, Anuji.
Hi.
I have today, recently, I just communicated to my wife and my daughter in London. So I was so happy and delighted that even though I am not physically with them, but mentally with them in the London.
Sure.
So that was
Good.
one of the things. Second thing, I was not sure about attending this event, but with the, whatever the sequence of event was happened, I could manage to attend your event and the prior events also, and so delighted that it gave me one lesson that even the success or fame and all those things, day end, it's your mental attitude and happiness within
Right.
yourself is important. So that's
Great,
it.
lovely. Very nice.
Good evening, Miss Anu.
Yeah, hi.
So my Shimba moment was when my 5-year-old son, he wakes me up in the same way, like how I used to wake him up generally during the school times with same love and affection by giving me a kiss and pampering me in the morning because he wakes up early in the morning only on weekends. So yeah, that was my
Right.
Shimba moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great, lovely.
Hello. Yeah. So my biggest shimmer today or past few days is the same as everyone here, that we were very excited that Anu Agarwal ji is coming here. And we went in the memory lane of the Ashiki songs. And all this last 1 week, those songs were coming into the mind and we were humming those songs. All of them are wonderful songs, everyone knows.
they are.
But I would like to know which one of them is your favorite, and can we all sing together so you make our day today?
सांसों की जरूरत है जैसे
सांसों की जरूरत है जैसे
जिंदगी के लिए बस एक सनम चाहिए आशिकी के लिए.
Thank you, Anuji. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just see that your sanam is your sanam spouse only. बस वही sanam चाहिए आशिकी के लिए. With that thought, I would. Sorry.
Yeah, good evening. Actually, I am practicing of my own in the morning, take free Zoom, and that is on the happiness. Basically, I believe gratitude plays a lot of role. What we have got it, we have to say thanks, like 3 things which I normally say, and I expect everybody to say. First is I do laughing with gratitude.
Right.
Laughing with gratitude is laughing, you get a benefits, no doubt about it, everybody knows about it. Gratitude, first, thank you God for giving me thinking power. Breathe in, again I take it. Second, I tell the people, thank you for giving me the senses, I can see, I can touch, I can hear, all those 5 senses. Third, gratitude for what I have got it is making the various system work on automatic mode. My kidneys, liver, pancreas. So many things we have been blessed with, but we hardly say. And then I say, ki by default, we get negativity. Negativity means what? Thinking power and emotions. So like the battery I charge in the morning, that works for me throughout the day.
Right.
So I have to, because I'm so much busy in my normal occasion, normally busy in the day-to-day work. So I infuse, like the same day I charge my battery. I say that everybody has to learn to be child. Like when I make them to laugh and dance also. Laughing is so easy. I tell the people to laugh. They say we don't know how to laugh. Then you have to act like a child. That is very important. Like I go for a long process, like telling how to enjoy life. Like
that is lovely. The 2 things that you said, one, the gratitude, and you already figured out gratitude is the first thing actually in the morning when you wake up. So I was coming to that. If nobody asks me about what do you do when you wake up, one of the things in the morning is gratitude. And it's wonderful, and you are also going into, the 5 senses and, gratitude for different things, which is beautiful. Very nice. Very nice.
With that, I think the biggest takeaway of this season is karma, gratitude, be yourself and believe in yourself. That is what the story is of Anu Agarwal. Can you please give a very big round of applause? Yes. I think she is a real fighter, an inspiration, and what we can look up to her today.
Yeah, Anu, I think we have learned a lot from your experiences and from your positivity, I would say. The power is in, because your smile has not flickered at all. I can see it's like, it's so naturally just, your chakras are really doing the magic. Yeah, there are raffle draws. Please,
Raffle, so please stay with us.
Don't go out because
you all will miss the chance.
Yeah, correct. So let's bring the raffles and we'll wrap
But
up
I
with
would
that.
like to invite our partners, Young Global, please, Rishi Sapra and Sheetal Sapra to be on the stage to felicitate none other than Anu Agarwal. Our former chairmen, please, a quick picture with Anuji.
मेरी हर खुशी है तू ही प्यार तू ही चाहत.
We have 2 raffles today, one from Young Global, one from Naam Valuers. The first prize is a Whoop band and then 2 grams gold. we have the winner, Murtaza.
Murtaza has gone out on here.
Is Murtaza here? 1, 2, 3.
Gone.
Murtaza is gone. Sundara. Sundara Raman.
अभी बाहर गया सुंदरा.
Naidu ne. Hey, he's here.
Yay! Wow. Sundara ji आइए.
Sundara ji. You have to practice now health and wealth together today. Thank you to our partners, Young Global, for such a thoughtful gesture. Yes, thank you. Now we have Naam Valuers. Jatin, please be on the stage with us. 2-gram gold coin. Let's see who the lucky winner is.
Yuga is turning his card.
Yuga, see? Oh, it's a chit. No, it's not there. It is Amiya Patnaik. Amiya. Gaya. Chance gaya.
2 gram gold.
Who, Amiya? Yes. Oh, he's lucky.
आ गया अमिया जी. Welcome. 2 ग्राम गोल्ड इनको खींच के लेके आ गया.
हाँ. सर किसको दोगे आप? 2 ग्राम गोल्ड कॉइन किसको दोगे?
कह रहे कमेटी को देंगे.
Now we request our committee, executive committee member for a formal vote of thanks. Oka bhai.
Good evening, everyone. There is a beautiful saying, a healthy body is the home of hopeful mind, and a wise investment is the bridge to a secure future. On behalf of ICA Dubai chapter, it is my privilege to offer our sincere words of gratitude. Our heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished guests and speakers, Osama Al-Rahma, Mr. Amit Bhatia, CA Piyush Junjunwala, and Anu Agarwal. Your gracious presence has truly elevated this evening and enriched our event. Thank you for generously sharing your valuable time with the ICI Dubai chapter and for inspiring us through the experience, wisdom, and commitment. Behind every seamless event, there is a team that quietly works while others shine. My sincere appreciation to our visionary chairman, CA Rishi Chawla, and our Madam Secretary, CA Ashna, and every member of the executive committee. And finally, to every member who chose to spend this evening with us, thank you. An event is never remembered only for the speakers or the venue. It is remembered because of the people who listen, participate, question, and inspire. Allow me to conclude with one final thought. May we continue to build not just a stronger portfolio, but stronger life, not just greater wealth, but greater well-being, because when health and wealth walk together, tomorrow always become brighter. Thank you once again.